I want to eat a reuben. I want to eat a reuben. I want to eat a reuben.
What's up, everybody? My name's Steve. What's up, everybody? Everybody, my name's Steve. Everybody, my name's Steve.
I want to eat a
What's up,
reuben.
everybody? I want to see. What are we? Everybody, my name's Steve. What's up, everybody?
I
What's
want
up,
to
everybody?
eat a reuben. I want to eat a reuben. I want to eat a reuben.
And I think my robot's break. And I think my robot's break. Allergies. And I think my robot's break. And I think my robot's break.
I want to eat a reuben.
And I think my robot's break. And I think my robot's breaking. God damn it! And I think my robot's break. And I think my robot's break.
I want to eat a reuben. I want to eat a reuben. I want to
Coming to
eat a
you
reuben.
fresh out of Orion's butthole, it's the DVDASA recap show with your host, SciFiReuben.
I want to eat a reuben. I want to eat a reuben.
I want to eat a Reuben. Yeah. That guy, he knows how to sing about Reubens for show. Shout out to that guy. That guy singing about how he wants to eat a Reuben. But anyway, welcome one, welcome all. It's the DVD ASA recap show, episode 10. Yep, fucking episode 10. I didn't even think I was gonna make it this far. And yeah, it's pretty cool to have 10 episodes. And yeah, fuck it, let's keep going, huh? So we got gRapeLyfe in Detroit. So why don't you fucking say what's up to everybody on this 10th episode?
Woot woot, yeah, we made it. Go sci-fi, it's your birthday. Go sci-fi, episode 10. Fuck yeah. I'm excited, aren't you? Yeah, I know you're excited. Fuck yeah, let's do this.
Oh, right, yeah, what, motherfucker? Yeah, bitch. So, yeah, it's the 10th episode, which is a fucking milestone in itself. And then there's something else that's special about this episode / this time of the year, really. And that is, well, this is the 1 year anniversary where I pretty much started SciFiReuben went on Instagram. It's been 1 year pretty much. Give or take a couple days. I'm not exactly sure, but it definitely was in March. So I thought the 10th episode would be a good one to bring that up. Because, yeah, it's been a year, and it's been a crazy fucking year. I mean, a year ago when I joined Instagram, I didn't really think, I didn't know what to expect. And, well, it really started kind of slow at first. I would just post maybe a picture, maybe 1 or 2 pictures a week after the episodes of DVDASA, and then it escalated into that fucking contest app thing. And then after that, the show went Rosebud. And then trivia I started. And then I got a lot of support from DVDASA. A bunch of them, like Joey and Critter. And who else? Well, also just started. Well, pretty much Joey and Critter started following me. for the trivia and stuff. And then November 2nd fucking happened, which was crazy as hell. Lots happened in this last year. That's what I'm pretty much trying to say. And I'm proud to do this. Feels good. And gRapeLyfe over in Detroit helping me out with this show. I mean, thanks, buddy. I'm just gonna say that right now and say thanks. I got a high five on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Fuck yeah, brah, brother. And yeah, I like the last episode. I like the little thing you did with your current events with shouting out some people that are still supporting the show with the hashtag DVDASA. That's pretty cool. Good idea, gRapeLyfe. Good idea. And what else? Yeah, you took that the Bright Dicks email stuff. Took that pretty well, buddy. I'm glad you the limelight didn't burn you. It burns a little bit on me sometimes. Sometimes I'm just in a bad mood and I'll flip out on fellas. I think they just start talking shit about the fucking voice or something. But I've learned to control that now. And what else? What else happened? Oh, we took shits, yeah. Did you take a shit? Alright. Can't tell if you're just squirting water up your butt or took a shit. But I thought, that was pretty interesting. If anybody else out there, if you're taking a shit, record that shit. Record it. And then just email it to either SciFiReuben at gmail.com or the DVDASA recap show at gmail.com. And we'll play that shit in the air. We'll make a new segment called Fam Shit or something. I don't know. I'll come up with a name for it.
I think we should call it Shittin' with Sci-Fi.
Let's see. So we got some interviews later. We'll do the AMA later. And I said I wasn't going to recap DVD ASA this week because I had a bunch of stories that, some tripping with sci-fi stories and some other stories that were pretty good that I got. But then, first I want to hear gRapeLyfe stories because I don't think he's going to be able to chime in that much with this next thing I want to talk about. So before I do that, I wanted to ask him, because I was asking him, like, hey man, you got any crazy heroin stories or whatever the fuck you took back then, oxy stories or something? Like, no, pretty boring. Like, oh, great. Well, you got any, I forgot what I said, but he said he had a double three-way story, and I'm pretty curious to hear that one. So why don't you say that one?
Alright, so I just want to preface this by saying this is the first time I have recorded after smoking a little bit. So this is going to be interesting. Sci-Fi thinks this is a very bad idea and it's going to turn into a 45-minute story, and you might be fucking right, bro. You might be right. I don't know. Let's see. Let's power this guy back up. There we go. Just wait for the light to turn green. Alright, so you want to hear about my Devil's Three-Way. This was so long ago, and I haven't thought about it in a long time. So, I really hope I'm capable of telling a story that's colorful and exciting. Because I was incredibly drunk when this occurred. But I tried to do my best to go back and think about the events of that day, and with any luck I'll have a good story for you guys. So let's get started, why don't we? Not green yet. We're almost there. Okay. Alright. Let's see, how old am I now? Yeah, you know what? It's probably about 10 years ago. About 10 years ago, I used to party with a group of degenerates who I went to high school with. This is a group of friends. Man, we ranged in age from probably about 18 to 26, 27 maybe. And a few of these guys that I used to hang out with had parents who had homes on the lake in the town that I grew up in. So, it was, a smaller town in between, Detroit and Ann Arbor. And we had a lake, and that's where all the rich people lived. So the people who, all the guys, all the kids who lived on the lake, they were the ones who threw all the killer parties. And I was never one to go to party and get all fucking crazy in high school. It wasn't until after high school that I really started partying all the fucking time. God, I am popping my peas like a motherfucker. I gotta stay farther away from this mic. This sucks. Okay. Sorry, I had to take a hit. So, it was a pretty common occurrence to throw parties and drink nearly every night of the week with these people. And of course the weekends were when everyone would kind of come out and party and shit would just get real fucking crazy. I mean, I can remember, and this is a story for another day, but I can remember one, I think it was a New Year's party. It was like a New Year's party. New Year's or 4th of July. It must have been 4th of July because this took place outside. I remember stepping outside and there being like a circle of people surrounded this guy sitting in a chair and this girl sucking his dick in front of a crowd of probably like 15 people. So these are the kind of parties that would go on. Shit got crazy. There would be hundreds of people packed into a house. There would be multiple kegs. It just would be crazy. Crazy fucking people who lived, in a small town just outside the city. It's just kind of how it went. So anyway, on this particular night, we were throwing a party at my, let's call him Lenny. We were throwing a party at Lenny's house. And the night started off like any other. We picked up a keg. We got a few bottles of Everclear from the military base in Ohio because you couldn't get Everclear in Michigan at the time. I don't know if you can get it now in Michigan. I think it's still, they don't sell it here because I think it's 180 or 190 proof maybe. So we got some Everclear and started to make what had to be a couple of hundred of Jello shots. And on a side note, we learned that Everclear probably shouldn't be used to make Jello shots because it just didn't work out. The alcohol content is so high that you just end up with these super liquidy, gooey shots because there's so much alcohol and so little water that the Jello just never sets up. So I mean, it was really common at these parties to have at least one keg, lots of cheap beer, and then like a staple of liquor, and then like the main staples when it comes to liquor, there would be Jaeger for Jaeger bombs, Fireball or like Goldschlager, schnapps and Everclear, some sort of tequila, always like vodka, like Absolute vodka, and there would be a whole range. There would be cheap shit all the way up through expensive ass, only a few of us were drinking it type liquor. I remember there was this pear brandy that we used to drink, and it would be this bottle that had a pear, like a full like pear inside of it, and then the brandy was poured in and just it was allowed to sit in it, and we would cut off chunks of the pear. So we'd stick a knife down the bottle and cut chunks out of the pear and then eat those chunks of pear that were soaked in the brandy. And it was, I mean, it was some potent shit. So we'd been drinking pretty much all day as we were kind of preparing for this party. And I remember we left the party pretty early because there was still some daylight out when all of this craziness starts to go down, and we'll get there in a second. But so my friend, we'll call him Jay. He showed up and he was in kind of a crappy mood because he had just split up with his girlfriend, who was ironically significantly younger than him, and he was quite a bit older than me, and she was way younger than me. Anyway, whatever. We're not incriminating anybody. Let's leave it at that. So a friend of mine, we'll call him Jay. He showed up, and like I said, he had split up with his girlfriend, and this was a pretty common occurrence. So they were breaking up all the time, just like it's just how it was. I have got stories about them too. Oh man. And of course, being in the mood he was in, he was definitely looking to get laid that night. Now, these parties had a tendency to turn into sausage fest at a moment's notice if the wrong people were invited. And although there was always a core group of ladies that would party with us, many of them were spoken for. They were dating, one of us in the group or whatever. Like, they weren't people that you regularly hooked up with. Although there were, anyway. And it was always a hell of a lot more fun when there were new people at these parties that you could try to hook up with. New people were always exciting, and all the guys would just swarm to them like a fucking pack of hyenas. It's just, I felt bad for all the new girls that got brought in, and I unfortunately brought a few different girls in, and I'm so sorry to all of you that had to hang out with us. That was bad. Oh, man. So anyway, at the time, Jay knew that I had female friends that weren't from our small town, and he was looking for me to provide him with someone to hang out with and possibly hook up with. And at the time, I'd been drinking those Everclear Jello shots, and it was stacked with Jaeger bombs, and I don't even know what else. Like, all that matters really is I was fucking drunk. So there's this hot little redhead girl that I'd been sleeping with for about a year and a half, before this party occurred. I believe I think we met on the internet. Like, this had been 10 years ago. And it's weird because I'm trying to remember where I met her, and I think it wasn't even on a dating site. It was like, it could have been on something like hotornot.com or something like that. I don't know. It's so fucking weird. But I remember I did meet her on the internet because I remember she was sending me dirty pictures. But anyway, so we would hook up, just whenever we wanted to fuck, She and I had been talking earlier that day, and we were going to try to hang out. So the problem with this booty call that I'd set up was, she had no transportation. And I was either not thinking or just stupid, and I was already way too drunk to be driving anywhere. So I was talking to her on the phone, and she wanted me to come get her and bring her to the party. Now, Jay was standing next to me while this conversation was going on, and he knew all about this girl, and I think he may have met her before. Actually, no, he hadn't met her yet. That's what makes this shit even crazier. Oh, damn. Jay hadn't met her. Well, anyway, Jay, being the fucking sweetheart gentleman, the chivalrous gentleman that he is, he suggested that he would drive me to pick her up. And there was one little stipulation, though. He said, why don't you ask her if she wants to hook up with the both of us? I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, ask her if she wants to just do a three-way. He's like, come on, just ask her, just fucking ask her. Don't be an asshole. He's like, you know what? I just fucking broke up with whoever. Don't be a dick. Ask her. I'm like, all right. She's gonna say no anyway, so I'll fucking ask her. If you're gonna give me a ride, of course. Like, why wouldn't I do that for you? So I thought it was kind of fucking funny, but she says yes, and I'm like, whatever, I'll tell him yes, okay. So I say, yeah, bro, yeah. And he's like, really? I'm like, yeah, sure. And I'm just thinking, like, whatever, we'll just blow him off later, and you know, it's her decision if it happens or not. So I really don't care, because I'm getting laid no matter what. So at the time, I really didn't care. All I cared about was myself at the time. I was being kind of selfish and kind of rude. So I said, fuck it. And I was like, let's go. Let's fucking go. So not only was he acting as my ride, he was going to provide us with a place to fuck. Because now if I had picked her up, I would have just taken her back to my parents' house at the time, slept with her there, problem solved. But there was no way I was going to bring her back to my parents' house and have a fucking devil's three-way. That just was not going to happen. So I remember being like, hey, look, bro, where are we going to do this at? And he's like, oh, we'll just do it at, Jake's house. Jake is not his name, and it sounds like we're a bunch of frat boys. We're going to call him Jake, because I'm only using his name once. So we'd go to his house. He wasn't home. He was out. I don't know what he was doing, but he was out of town. And we used to hang out at his house all the time. So we're like, all right, we'll go there. So we end up hopping in my car, and I have Jay drive, because I think at the time there was something wrong with his car and he wasn't driving. See, Jay used to drive these. He would always get these old, like, Mercury Cougars, but the boats, like the ones from the, like, late 70s and, like, 80s. I think, yeah, the late 70s and 80s. He would drive these fucking boats around, and he would put, like, big-ass V8s in them, but that always left him in a situation where sometimes he wouldn't have a working car. So, again, you know, I was giving him transportation by letting him use my car, and it just all kind of worked out. So we get in my car, and I'm drunk as fuck and chatting with her on the phone. We scoop her up, and he starts working his magic trying to get her to be down for some three-way action. And I'm still in disbelief and sort of laughing to myself about it all. So we arrive at the destination, which was that mutual friend who was out of town, and we go to the fridge and grab whatever liquor is in there so we can start drinking, because I got a feeling that she's gonna want to drink in this situation, and I definitely needed to continue drinking at that time, because I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but we were at the house and all three of us were there, and he was not going anywhere. So I remember finding a pint of peppermint schnapps. I remember just tasting way more harsh than I ever remember any schnapps tasting. So we make it into the bedroom, and she asks him if he has condoms. Shit. We don't have any. And I was way too drunk to even plan that far ahead. I obviously just was not thinking. But good old Jay offered to go get some. Now I said, go get those condoms, bro. We gotta make this happen. Come on. Get the fuck out of the house. Go get the condoms. And yeah, man, just hurry, right? So he leaves, and I immediately go to work. I'm thinking, I'm gonna get to her before he gets back. I'm gonna start without him. I was still in, like, complete disbelief that anything was gonna happen. So I figure, if anything, maybe she'll sleep with him after or something. But even that I doubted. So since I was out with since I was without a rubber, I did what any classy guy would do. I pulled her shorts off and started eating her pussy. And I must have been neck deep in pussy for quite a while, because before I knew it, Jay was back and he had the goods. And of course, Jay was happy that I already gotten her more than half naked, but it was time to switch things up. So, how are we gonna do this? Are you sure you're fucking down for this? Like, seriously, you want... Alright. Like, I wasn't gonna argue with her. I'm just like, alright, you really want to do this? Alright. Can we turn the lights down a little bit? Like, what? We're not doing any DV or DA or anything, are we? I mean, should we each just, like, get on one end? And Jay's like, yeah, man, a spit roast. So, yeah, nice one, bro. I'm sure she really fucking appreciates that one. This is great. Yeah, okay. So since I had already detailed her clam with my tongue, she returned the favor, and I offered to take the front end of her. Jay went ahead and took her from the back. And I can remember it was pretty dark in this room, but not so dark that I couldn't see Jay. I could see him all right. I could see Jay with his ball cap on backwards and that fucking grin he gets on his face whenever he was inevitably about to get us into fucking trouble. And I'm thinking to myself, Jay, what are you about to... Bam! He starts thrusting like he's trying to fucking stuff a square peg into a round hole. Now, Newton's second law of motion tells us that the rate at which a force, J, does work on an object, the hot redhead in this case, can be described as K kinetic energy. Now, this kinetic energy transferred from J to the redhead's ass, through her torso, up the back of her neck, causing her to unintentionally participate in a face fucking session. J got a good, 10 thrust in before she took my cock out of her mouth and looked back and said, "Are you fucking serious?" Jay leans in with his hand extended so that we can do the obligatory Eiffel Tower, where you do a high five while going to work while having sex. For reference, it looks sort of like an A-frame. Now, at this point, I was starting to feel a little bad for having to endure an impromptu face fuck. So I start to focus and muster all the energy I can because I need to come soon. And I'm starting to, like, the reality is starting to set in what's going on. And I'm just like, this is so fucking crazy. And it's one of those times where you're so, like, can't believe it's happening, but at the same time, you just want it to be over. So I muster up all the energy I had, and I came in her mouth. Now, a Devil's Three-Way may seem fun, a sort of bros outing, a little bro time, you know, something you just do with the bros. But there comes an issue of, well, coming. Once you come, you can't get out of the room fast enough. And where do you go? What do you do? I don't think I was really down for watching Jay finish, so I just sort of kind of left the room. So I picked up that pint of peppermint schnapps that we had found in the freezer, and I started drinking that. And then eventually Jay and my good sport of a booty call came out of the room. And once again, Jay had that grin on his face. At this point, I was about ready to call it a night. And although we had my car, I hadn't drove, so it was on Jay to drop everyone off. At the time, I was still living with my parents, so I couldn't take her home to stay with me. So we just went and dropped her off. So what was supposed to be a night of her coming out and partying with us turned into us picking her up, fucking her awkwardly, and sending her back home within maybe 2 hours. Now, Jay, who lived a few blocks away from me, drove me to my house where we sat to discuss the night. There was a whole lot of, oh my god, thanks bro, this is going to be a fucking crazy story. Like, this is going to be insane. And of course he goes, don't tell. Fuck, I don't have a name to give her. He pretty much was like, don't tell my ex. And right there is like, oh, of course, dude, you know you're gonna get back with her. This is just gonna be weird. But so we're discussing the night, and I said to him, man, that schnapps is like really sitting bad with me, and I don't feel so fucking good. And that's when Jay said, well, bro, you drank like half that pint, and it was 120 proof. What the fuck were you thinking? I thought schnapps was low alcohol content. Nah, not peppermint schnapps. I nodded, grabbed a Starbucks cup off the floor, and proceeded to vomit in the cup before exiting my car and making my way to the front door. So that's the story of the night that I participated in a devil's three-way and also learned that not all schnapps are created equal. You know, I never had a thing for redheads before I met this girl, and in retrospect, I think all of the crazy shit and stories that I have that involve her is what really started my infatuation with the fire crotch. Who would have thought a devil's three-way would have been the thing to start that fire?
Alright. Was that good or what? You little creepy guy having sex with another guy. I'll just have to wait. It's alright, I'm used to it by now. So, yeah, we'll chime in with gRapeLyfe a little later. I just gotta say right now, shout out to V2 vaporizer once again, because I, for the last 2 months, have been using just the vaporizer. I haven't hit the bong or anything, no blunts, no joints, just the vape life, you know? And I probably had close to an ounce, because after you put the dry herb in and it's done, it takes a nice green bud and turns it into like a brown bammer, but it's not ash or anything. So I collected that for about 2 months and got almost an ounce of it, and I just the other day made some butter with it, and I made some bulletproof coffee with that, and I threw in some vanilla ice cream to cool it off, just so I could chug it, because I really wanted to drink it fast. And yeah, it's kicking in right now, and I'm fucking feeling good, so this will be fun. So, yeah, so like I said last episode, I needed to watch 30B, the one with Steve Lee and the alien stuff. And, well, it was quite interesting. I pretty much understood a lot of the alien languages, but they didn't know what they were saying, so it didn't really make sense. And then, I think the best part was probably the first 45 minutes when they were just telling us stories and stuff that's happened to them, like paranormal stuff. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute, I got a bunch of stories like that too that I haven't even talked about. So, let's start a new segment that I'm going to try to get to at least once a week or something, maybe every other week. I don't know. But we're going to call this one Sci-Fi Mysteries. Yeah, Sci-Fi Mysteries. So, let's see. I've seen some stuff. I've seen some stuff up in space. I've been in that war. But I've seen some other stuff down here on Earth also. And, there's a lot of, I think Steve Lee was asking them, like, what they felt like, if there was a heaven and a hell. And I don't really believe that there is a heaven or hell. I don't believe that there's a God. I don't believe in angels. I don't believe in demons. What I think is, and a lot of people, you can disagree. It's all right. It's great. But This is just my theory. But the reptilians, they can control your mind. If you have a weak soul, aka energy in your body, they can find that and they can pretty much, make you, they can try to talk you into some weird shit, like committing suicide, doing more drugs, killing people. There's a reason why there's a piece of your brain called the reptilian side of your brain. Because the reptilians, they can get in there and do some shit. So do I believe in demons? No. What I believe is I think reptilians are demons. I believe that the whole reason why, it's like they take what you believe and they'll try to manipulate that towards you. So if you believe in God and exorcisms and all that, they're going to go with it. And they're going to fucking try to manipulate you into thinking that it's a demon or something like that. Angels, on the other hand, I believe are Palladians, aka the Nordic race. The ones that look like white, blonde, blue-eyed, somewhat, those kind of, there's an alien species out there that looks like that. They're a lot like the black ones, but the black ones are just way more cooler. But, yeah, so I believe, like, Orion is pretty much a fucking Palladian. I am pretty much a Palladian. And Steve Lee brought this up to the people, and they all thought the Palladians were, they were fucking bad. They're not bad. We're all here because of them. They are the reason why we're living on Earth. And like I said, there's been a war going on over this planet. The reptilians have been trying to take over, and, well, the Palladians are trying to help. And even the Greys and the Palladians, there's a lot of species of the Greys. Some of the Greys work with the Palladians, and some of the Greys work with the reptilians. The majority of the ones that you see flying around, the ones that abduct people, they're pretty much working for the Greys. And when they do take you, if they have ever abducted you, they're not really trying to hurt you. They're trying to make sure that your energy hasn't been corrupted by the reptilians. That's why they do all those weird tests and probes and all that weird shit. It's like, why would they bring you back? If you've been abducted and you got brought back, why would they do that? And if you ever seen a movie called Fire in the Sky, the movie made it seem like the Greys were just, the Greys. They're fucking trying to torture this guy and capture him and stuff, but they let him back. It's like, why would they want to do all that and just bring him back home? That was really nice of them. No. Plus, the movie was pretty much kind of bullshitty, because that's not the whole story. The whole story is, I forgot his name, it's like Travis something. But he got taken up, and yeah, he woke up and he saw some little green Greys. And, well, they were gray. And then, he was like, back off, motherfuckers, back off. And, the Greys were like, you know what, let's just leave this guy alone for a little bit, we'll be back. And they left him. And then he wandered around. And, well, this is the part of the movie that they don't talk about, but he found a room, and it had a chair in it. So he sat in the chair, and then he saw some weird little devices, and he started fucking with that. And he could look up, and the whole top of the ceiling was clear, and you could just see stars shooting. Like warp speed type stuff. Like when the stars look like lines, because you're going so fast. And then he felt somebody put their hand on his shoulder, and he looked back, and he saw what looked like a human. But this human had, like, really, kind of pale skin, but he looked normal, and he had, I can't remember, it was either blue or gold eyes. And he didn't talk. The guy was, like, Travis was like, hey man, what's going on here? What the fuck is this about? And the dude just kind of took him by the arm, and he walked them off of the spaceship. And when they walked off of the spaceship, he was in what looked like a big fucking hangar. And in this hangar had bunch of UFOs, like, parked in this hangar. And then they walked down, and there was like 3 other Palladium. I'm just gonna call them Palladium because that's what they were. And they were waiting for him, and he was like, one of them was a chick, and she had blonde hair. They were all white. And then fucking they took him and they sat him in a chair, and he felt kind of calm. And that's when they started doing some tests on him. And then he woke up and he was back home. So, yeah, they're not always, like, the TV shit makes, like, Signs. Remember that fucking movie? That shit's not true. And they kind of just make you feel like the Grays and Greens and all those guys are all bullshit. But they're not. They're real. If anybody out there thinks aliens are not real, then you need to get off your ass and fucking, I don't know, because this fucking galaxy is just one of millions of galaxies, and to think that we were the only race that can live, that's just ridiculous. And in real life, I have seen some UFOs. I've seen, first time I was pretty young, and I think it was 7th grade or something. We're at my friend's house. I was on the 3rd story because it was a big-ass house. My friends were playing on the street. And I remember yelling at them, but it was dark. I remember looking up because I thought I heard something weird, like a weird, like, not like an airplane, but something else. And I looked up, and it was like this fat triangle type of moving object, and it was almost see-through, like camouflage or something. And I was looking at it, and I was trying to tell my friends to look, but they weren't paying attention. And I was looking at that shit, I was like, what the fuck is that? And then, that shit changed shape into a fat triangle, and then turned into, like, a skinnier triangle, and it just shot out of, like, a bat out of hell. It was gone without a sound, and I was like, what the fuck? Also, I witnessed if you go on YouTube and you hit San Francisco UFO Mission being the Mission District in San Francisco, one of the guys takes a video where there's a bunch of lights in the sky, and they kind of move around and flicker off. And I remember seeing that shit too, and I was like, what the fuck? And then recently, probably 2 months ago, I was going to work, and it was like 4 or 5 in the morning, and I look up to the sky just out of the corner of my eye. I kind of looked that way just for, I don't know why. And I saw what looked like a shooting star, but shooting stars usually come down, and this one went up. It was like, it moved slow, and then it was like 3, 2, 1, boom, gone, up into the air. And I was like, wow, that's fucking crazy. And, yeah. So, definitely seen some weird shit. And, I've seen some shadow figures. Usually those guys come around when I am on psychedelics, more acid than any other psychedelic. I don't think I've seen them on mushrooms, which would freak me the fuck out, but I've seen them a couple times on acid. The first time I took acid, I fucking took too much. It was strychnine too, which is straight rat poison. But I didn't know. My friend got it to me, and it was on tabs of paper. And I fucking took one. We met up with like fucking 6 other of my friends, but they didn't take any. It was just me and my other friend that took it. So we went down, we all cut school, went down to this place to get some weed from the bike messengers. And then it's probably been an hour now, and I'm like, I don't really feel anything. And then we go through North Beach, which is like the Italian kind of district in our city. And I went by this restaurant, and they had a checkered floor. And I remember I saw the fucking checkers rise up to like my eye level. And I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. Let me take some more. So then I took some more, and another hour goes by, and I'm still not really... Me and my friend are both kind of like, well, this is alright, but, it's been like 2 hours. We end up into the Presidio, which is a very large... it's a very large, like, nature type of place. A lot of military families usually live there, but not anymore. And it's kind of like a forest, like a big forest. And we went there because there was one of those swings, like tree swings. So we did that for a little bit, and I was like, you know what, man, let's take the rest of that shit. So we took the rest, and we smoked the blunt. And that's, we should have smoked the blunt after we took the first one because, weed always enhances shit. That shit fucking, oh my God. My friends, which were Asian, my other friend I took it with was half Asian, half white. And my 6 other friends were all Asian. They wanted to go into the deepest, darkest part of the fucking forest and play Deuces, that card game. And I was like, what the fuck? We're doing it here. But at the time I was tripping, so I was like, whatever. And I remember I picked up the deck of cards. And I remember going through them and all the numbers and the shapes and they were all coming out. It was all 3D. Everything was 3D. So me and my friend were like, whoa, we're fucked. We need to go take a walk. We'll be back. So we go walking, and it feels like I'm in the moon right now. It feels like I'm fucking walking on fucking rubber. Like, I feel so bouncy. Probably looked like a retard walking, but whatever. And then, me and him stopped because we both heard the flowers talking to us. And I remember looking at my friend, hunched over at these flowers and saying, do you hear that? Are they fucking talking? And he was doing the same thing. He was like, dude, they're talking to us. And I remember I put my ear like right up to this bunch of flowers. And acid, it'll take you to another dimension. There's dimensions all around us. And this one brought me to at first it started off pretty good, but then this is where it starts to get weird. We are talking to the flowers. I'm not really talking, I'm trying to listen to what they're saying. And I get really close, and one of the flowers, it's like whispering, like, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I keep getting closer, and then it felt like it kept saying, look behind you. Like, look behind you. Look behind you. And I was like, what? And I looked behind, and what I saw will never leave my mind. There's a couple things that have been burned in my fucking mind, and this was one of them. It was like a shadowy figure, but in the fucking daylight. Like, straight in the sun. And it looked so weird because it wasn't like a straight shadow. It was more blurry, I guess I'm trying to say. Like, I could totally see this thing. It was definitely like a being. I could see its arms. I could see its legs. It was all black. It was straight black. It was, it looked blurry, like when you watch Cops and they blur out somebody's face. It was like that, but all over the body. And I just stared at that thing for a little bit. And my friend, he didn't see this, which is kind of weird because everything else that happened was, I thought we were on the same page since we were both talking to the flowers, but he didn't see anything. So I'm like, you don't see that? And he's like, nope. And that just made me more weird. So it's like, let's go back to our friends, because I just want to be around more people. And then we go to the friends, and I look back, and this thing is like following me around. Like, it's not going away. And I tell all my friends, I'm like pointing at it, like, do you see that right there? It's like a fucking dude or something. And they're like, dude, you're fucked. I was like, oh my God, whatever. So, we ended up going to this bowling alley, and I couldn't talk at all. I was just like so fucked up. I remember one of my friends had a hoodie, and he looked like the Grim Reaper. So that didn't help. And my friend that was also fucked up, he kept asking me what time it was, like every 5 seconds. I'd be like, it's 2:55. And he was like, okay, what time is it? 2:55. Okay. What time is it? It's like, dude, it's still fucking, he would ask me this like every 5 seconds. And then I, on the other hand, was, I was really fucking thirsty, like, so thirsty. And I didn't have any water. And I had just really bad dry mouth. And I remember going to the bowling alley, because all my other friends, we didn't want to go bowling. We wanted to play Street Fighter versus X-Men or some shit like that, and, you know, fuck up the people there. And take, we were really good at that game, so that's what they wanted to do. I, like, went into the public bathroom, I started drinking the water, and I'm just so thirsty. And one thing people told me before taking acid, they were like, don't look into the mirror. So I remember this time I didn't look into the mirror, because I just didn't want to. And I keep drinking the water, and I get up, I turn around, and that fucking shadow figure is right fucking there. And it had like a weird energy, vibration kind of feel, but other than that, it was silent as fuck. But it was like probably like 5 feet away from me, and I could feel the energy from this thing hitting me like a heat. I don't know. It's so weird. So that freaked me the fuck out. Me and my other friend that were tripping, we were like, dude, we gotta go. We just can't be here right now. Because they still wanted to play the video games because they weren't fucked up. So we're like, we're gonna go. And we'll meet you back at this other park by all of our houses later. And they're like, all right, man, see you guys later. So now it's just me and my friend. And I'm like, you know what? I need to get some more fucking water. But I'm not going back in that bathroom. So then we walked in kind of near where the Golden Gate Bridge is. He's still asking me what fucking time it is. And I'm like, this is starting to get really weird. We go to another public bathroom while we're walking down, like, by the water. I'm trying to make it as peaceful as peaceful as possible. And, well, we get to this bathroom, and right when I walk in, I see somebody laid out. I don't know if it was real or not, but it looked like a dead body in the bathroom in, like, one of the stalls. It was just open, and there was a body on the ground. And I was like, fuck this, man. But I was so thirsty, so I went, and I got some more water. And I was, like, putting the water on my face, and then I looked into the mirror, because I totally forgot. And what I saw was the shadow figure right there, of course. And I looked like a fucking reptilian. I looked straight up like a lizard person. And that freaked me the fuck up. My friend, I don't know why he wasn't so thirsty, but he was just waiting outside. And I didn't flip out. I was just like, holy shit, dude, I need to sober the fuck up. Because this is not fun. And then we left, and we just walked for a good hour or two. And I kept looking back, and I kept seeing this shadow figure, like it was just right there. And to this day, it's like, I don't know. At first it was scary, but then But then it was just, I was like, almost like it was supposed to be with me. And I don't know if it was, I don't know, it all just doesn't make sense, but this could have been like somewhat like how people talk about when they take ayahuasca. They will see like a shadow figure around them. And a lot of people say it's like their spirit guide, or like, like a guardian angel type of thing. But for me, I wish she would have made that clear, because it fucking freaked me the hell out. And after this, me and my friend, we went back to the park where my other friends were at. And they were there, they were playing ping pong, and my friend bounced because he lived a little farther away, and I lived like 2 blocks away from this park. So I was like, all right, man, take care. And I go to the thing, and I played some ping pong for a while. I started killing people. But, just kept remember seeing that damn fucking shadow figure around me all the time. It was just always there, no matter what. Wherever I looked, it was always there. So I was like, oh man, I need to keep my mind occupied. I just gotta watch TV, but watching TV sucked. So I went back home and got some, I wanted to bring my video games, my PlayStation, over to the recreation center and just play games there, and hopefully my friends will start playing, and then I'm occupied. And I went home, I went to the bathroom, and I looked in the mirror again. This time I wanted to look in the mirror just to make sure I was back to normal. I was like, what is going on? And I had my bag all ready to go, and then I look into the mirror and I'm still a fucking reptilian. And that really freaked me out. So, I remember this time when I looked in the mirror, though, the shadow figure was not there. It was just me as a reptilian. So then I fucking went to the donut shop down the block, because I remember somebody said if you want to sober up quick, you gotta drink milk and eat bread. So I got a fat donut, and then I got a thing of milk. And I went back to the park, played my video games. I don't even remember what it was, but it looked so weird. It was like so pixelated. It just didn't look like a fucking video game. And then I hung out there. It was starting to go away. And then I went home, and it's probably like 7 or something. And I remember laying in bed trying to figure out what to do. And I heard this loud kaboom. It was like, boom. And I asked my dad, I was like, did you hear that? And he was like, nope. And I asked my friends, I called them up. I was like, did you guys hear that? And they were like, nope. And then my friend that was tripping with me, he called me up. He's like, did you hear that? And I was like, yep. Nobody else heard it but us. It was so weird. It was like something in our mind just went boom. And then I had a report due, I think it was the next day, and I kind of lagged on it. Didn't really care about it. And after I heard that noise, I was like, I just gotta do homework, because I'm so fucking I got pretty paranoid. And yeah, I did probably a 6-month project with a report on World War II and all this other shit. And I did collages. I had like 2 collages on the war and some other stuff. And I did it all in one night and got a minus, I think I got on it. But the weird thing was I was typing without looking at the keyboard. And to this day, I still can't type without looking at the keyboard. I was typing like, I don't know, 100 words a minute. It all works. I don't know. Thank God I didn't see that shadowy figure anymore after that. I've seen him, could be a her. I've seen that a couple times after that, but I won't get into those stories today. But, yeah, that shit is fucking weird, man. I don't even know why I kept doing, like, I'd probably taken acid maybe 10 times after that, and I don't know why. Like, there's a story where I almost died off that shit, and that will fuck with your head. And it wasn't from an OD, it was from I went to a camp out Raven, did that stuff, and the car that I was in it crashed, but if it crashed over the next turn, we would have went off the cliff because the car that I was in brakes went out while I was pretty much coming down off acid. So when they say you see your life flash before you, yeah, I saw that shit. It was not fun. I'll save that one for another time. Okay, so yeah, that was my, I guess that was a tripping with sci-fi story. And, well, let's see, before I go into some more paranormal talk, because I have one about ghosts, let's see. Well, we got some breaking news. I haven't hit that jingle in a while. Breaking news. Yeah, that's right. Breaking news. Yeah, it's not even that breaking, but who cares? I just wanted to use that jingle because it's been a while and it's the 10th fucking episode, so fuck it. But, yeah, the Manchi show. There's gonna be one in San Francisco at the Elbow Room. What was it, May 25th or something? They haven't even made an announcement yet about this, but, like a full announcement. But good old Cece, she spilled the beans on one of her posts saying the next show they're gonna be doing is in San Francisco. And it's on a Monday, and that kind of sucks, because I gotta go to work on Tuesday, but I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, because I'm going to that shit, and it's about a mile away from where I live. So, oops, shouldn't be that bad. Shouldn't be that bad at all. And, yeah, I'm gonna fucking go all out, party up like a motherfucker. Most likely the DVDASA fam, some from the Bay Area, will be there. And I hit up Steve Lee on Instagram and asked him about the show to make sure that it's going to go down, and it is. He said, yep, we're coming to the Bay. And then we talked about paranormal shit, just like I've been saying here. Let's see. I did an Ask Us question again, just like I did, was that last episode or the one before that? I did the Ask Asa, and I told you guys to do the same thing. Nobody's doing that. That's fine. I'll just keep doing it, because she seems to reply back. Thanks, Asa. That's great. So, let's see, I told her, how do you eat a slice of pizza? Because that's her favorite snack. Do you fold it like a taco? Do you eat a crust first? Or are you one of those weirdos and use a knife and fork? Or chopsticks? Yeah, I've seen Asian people eat fucking pizza with chopsticks. It's hilarious. It's like, what are you going to do with the crust? Whatever. And she replied back. She said, she folds it, but not all the way to the tip! Exclamation point. So it's like, she folds it, but not all the way to the tip! I also fold nice slices of pizza, because, well, that's just the fucking way you should do it. I've always been doing that from, the get-go. I love fucking pizza. I fold that shit and let the tongue hang out, and I just go to town on that motherfucker. 'Cause why the fuck not? So, So what was I talking about? God, that fucking that coffee's starting to really kick in. This might not have been a good idea at all. If I start rambling and mumbling and bullshitting, my bad in advance. Alright, so paranormal, ghosts, spirits, energy, trapped in this world, this dimension. Let's start off by talking about dimensions. Dimensions are all around us. Let's put it this way. Let's say you're walking and you hit a fork in the road and you just go straight. You just go straight. Well, there's a dimension where you made a left and there's a dimension where you made a right. There's all that type of shit going on. There's multiple yous going on in this world and you don't know it. There could be a gay SciFiReuben. There could be a fucking richer than Dave Cho SciFiReuben. There could be a homeless SciFiReuben. There could be a fucking drug addict SciFiReuben, porn star SciFiReuben. I mean, there's every possibility out there could be going on right now. And dreams for me, I feel like they're pretty much like a way of going into those dimensions. Dreams could be you in a different dimension, and you just don't know it. I mean, I think last night I had a zombie dream. I was like stuck in some fucking like prison type place, and there were zombies, and I had to get the fuck out, and I did. So in some other dimension, that could have been true. I could have been fucking up zombies, and they could be real in some other dimension. You just don't know. And ghosts, well, I think ghosts, when somebody dies and they're not ready to go, I feel like that's how you get your energy stuck into this dimension, but you're also kind of living through another dimension. So that ghost is in one dimension, and the real world is another one. Confusing a little, but that's just the way that I feel. So if, pretty much when you're about to die, you might as well say, yeah, I'm ready. Or else you might get stuck here. And who knows what the fuck else is gonna get you. Some reptilian's gonna fucking eat your energy or something. So, I've been on a couple ghost hunt, and I've never really lived in a haunted house. Although, the last place that I stayed at, some weird shit started happening. Probably, was that 2 years ago? Around this time too, because I had some, our kitchen and our bathroom got redone. And when they did the bathroom, they had to break down the wall and just redo everything. And when they broke down the wall, there was like old cigarette pack, and these are from like the 40s. And there was like just some weird stuff in there. I think there was like coins and cigarettes, matches. And it was all neatly placed there too. It wasn't like all over the place. It was like somebody put it there and then they closed the fucking wall. So after they redid everything, and this place, like San Francisco is pretty fucking old school when it comes to like buildings and stuff. A lot of these buildings were built in the 1800s and some even longer than that. And, well, the place I lived at last, it had like maybe 11 units, but back in the day, it was only one building. And there's always weird stories about what was going on in the building. And after they broke down the wall and we all saw what was in there, I kind of started noticing some things, but my parents that lived upstairs at the time, they started hearing noises and breathing and just weird stuff. All I did, I saw, I was in my kitchen and I totally saw somebody walk by, but when somebody goes up the stairs, you hear the door to get inside the building. And usually you hit a buzzer or use your key. But no matter what, I hear the door close, and I didn't hear the door close, and I looked outside and there was nobody there, but I know for a fact that I saw somebody walk by. That's pretty much that one. But I went to the Winchester house. It was like a Halloween midnight tour, and there's a bunch of tours going on, but they give you like a 5 to 10 minute advance for each tour so you don't bump into the other ones. And we went into Mrs. Winchester's house, and I was leaning against the wall while they're telling their stories, and I totally saw, like, damn near like a little dark figure, shadowy thing walk right by. And I stuck my head out and I looked, and there was nobody there. And I told everybody there, and they were like, "Whoa, that's so cool. I wish I saw that." I was like, well, I don't know what that was, but yeah, hopefully it was Mrs. Winchester saying hello. And for you guys that don't know who that is, it's this big house that has all these little, it's like a big housemaid. And she made these, pretty much I think some kind of curse was put onto them because they were the ones that created the Winchester rifle, and I guess that killed a shitload of Indians and stuff. So supposedly there was a curse on them or something, and she made the house like that after her husband died to confuse the ghosts. But really, all that probably did was just get them lost in there, and they probably just stayed there, and that's not good. And let's see, I went on to there was like this abandoned hospital in the Presidio, which is, like I said in the last story about how I took acid in the Presidio. This hospital was, everybody knew about this place because it had an insane asylum, and there was like all these weird stories that went on about the place. And I remember before I went in there, like a year before, I was telling my friends we should go there. One of my friends was like, "Nah, man, you need to bring a gun in there because crazy shit goes on." And yeah, there was like homeless people sleeping in there, and there was, I didn't see any, but you could see like inside the building there was just graffiti everywhere. So people kind of went there and they probably partied it up. So one time, me and my friends, we finally got in there, and I had a video camera, and I wanted to film everything, like POV style, motherfuckers, yeah. And we go in there, and there was like 8 of us, and we broke up into 2 groups to make it more creepy. Why not? And I had fully charged my camera. I remember checking before we went in there. It was like, oh, full battery. I had 2 full batteries. I had a spare battery. We go in there and everything's fine. And then I get to, we get to the insane asylum floor, which was like on the top floor, I think. I don't know. I just remember going up those fucking stairs forever. And we walked down this hall, and the hall was creepy as fucking shit. And then we start walking down the hallways, and some of the doors are open to some of the rooms, so we get into the rooms, and then my camera starts bugging out, and one of my friends said he felt somebody put their hand on his shoulder, so he got the fuck out of there real fast. So now it's just me and 3 friends. And then all of a sudden we heard some kind of moaning. And I was like, and my other friend ran the fuck out. So now there's just two, me and my buddy. My camera is not working, and I get the spare battery, I put it in, it works for about 5 seconds, and then it just cuts out. I was like, man, what the fuck? So we're like, you know what, this is getting a little too creepy, let's get the fuck out of here. So we leave, and we're walking down the hall, and now all the doors, because there's like maybe 2 doors that were open, and the rest were closed. And there's probably about 10 doors, 5 on each side of the hallway. So we're walking, and now all the doors are closed, except for the one we came out of. And then we take like 10 steps, and that fucking door that we just left slams shut. And each door, while we're leaving, it's opening one by one, not all at the same time. It's like when we pass it, it opens up on each side. So it's like 2 open here, then we make 10 more steps, 2 more open there. It's like, what the fuck? So we got the fuck out of there real fast. I wish I got that on video. It could be homeless people standing behind the doors fucking with us, but I highly doubt it. I fucking highly doubt it. And when I checked the video, yeah, there was one part where you heard some of the moan, but then it cut out. Like, you heard like a split second. And then, well, I've been on like 3 ghost hunts. One of my friends is really into that shit. He has all the utensils, the voice recorders, the EVP, the thermo, whatever. I don't fucking know. So he's hot. He's just super. He likes watching Ghost Hunters. I can't stand that fucking show because of the douchebag host. But I like some of those shows too. I like Paranormal Witness, and I used to watch Taps, but it kind of got weak. But we went to one for his birthday, me and like 10 other dudes, and he got a limo. He was like, let's get a limo and go to this fucking, it was a USS Hornet battleship, and you could do tours there in Alameda for any of the Bay Area people that like that type of shit. So then we go to this thing, and we get wasted on the way there. I mean, we're getting drunk. So then we get to the battleship, and it's just us. I thought we were going to be with other people, but it was just us. And they started off by telling us, we're like, wow, we got some young guys, and they're wasted. And at first I was like, thinking they're just talking shit or something, but they're like, we get the most activity when it's people like you are here, because the ghosts are probably, most of the ghosts that died on this ship were in their 20s and early 30s, and even like 18, 19. And we're like, cool. And they're like, yeah, they don't really do much when there's kids or women, but when we get groups of you guys, which is pretty rare, because nobody really, I don't know, guys don't really get drunk and do shit like this, I guess. But they're like, we might have a good night. So we're like, cool, let's go. We got all pumped up, and they broke us up in 2 groups, and they took us on a tour, and the first stop was this room. It was like the captain's, I think it was like where he stays. We went in there, and then they start talking, whatever. And then one of the guys has a flashlight. He puts it on the table, and he starts telling the ghost to move it. And then the flashlight started rocking back and forth. But I was a little skeptical, because you never know. Seemed like he did that every time, and it worked. I'm not sure. And then he turned off the light, and he told it to turn back on. And, well, that fucking light turned back on. It slowly turned back on. It wasn't just like a click. It was like a very dim light, and then boom, back on. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then they were trying to communicate to the ghosts, and I was videotaping this, and it kind of sucks now because I had these videos on this phone, but I deleted them because I never thought I was going to use them anymore. Plus, I needed the space for this fucking podcast and damn Manchi remix things I do. So that's gone. But they were trying to communicate to the ghost, and I was taking video. And later on, after this whole night was over, I checked out the video and I saw a shitload of orbs. You know, those balls of energy that go by when ghosts are supposedly ghosts. And I got a lot of orbs, and it was pretty cool. But then the weird shit that happened, I didn't tell my wife this because she would freak the fuck out over this type of shit. So if you're listening to this, honey, you might want to tune off. So they take us to the most activity, the room where there's the most activity. It was like a fucking bunk house kind of room where all the, I guess, soldiers stayed, like the new recruits or some shit. So we go up there, and he brings us over to one of these beds, and they're telling us about this soldier that killed himself. He hung himself, like, pretty much right where we were standing. And then, right after he told me this, I got really, like, weak. Like, couldn't really stand up that well. So I sat on the bed. And then, out of nowhere, I just felt super emotional. And I started crying for a while. And I was, it's like, it kind of takes a lot for me to shed a tear. And I was bawling, like, fucking, like, crying. And people were coming up to me, like, what the fuck's going on? I'm like, I don't know. And when I would close my eyes to wipe the tears out, I kept seeing this face. And it was a woman's face. And she looked like it was like a black and white portrait photo of her, and it was a little creepy looking, but it's just, for the 1940s, that was probably the way that they would pose and stuff. But it was just like, she wasn't smiling or anything. She was just, her hair was all up. I won't forget her face because just like that shadow figure, this shit is like burned into my mind. So I'm crying for, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. And then right when I leave the room, I'm good. I'm like, I'm good. And I'm not going back in there ever again. And then we're leaving, and then the tour guy was like, wow, that was fucking crazy. I don't think anybody's ever had that happen. And I was like, yeah, I probably was just possessed for a good 5 to 10 minutes. And then he told me the reason why the soldier killed himself was because he got a letter from the girl that he was with, family, telling him that she died somehow. I forgot how she died or even if it said, but so he got the news that she died, and then he just said, fuck this. And he pretty much just killed himself. So, yeah, that was the time I was kind of possessed, I guess. I haven't done anything on that, like, ghost stuff since, because I'm a little worried there's some sort of aura around me. I feel like I kind of have The Shining sometimes. Like, I just predict weird stuff. I mean, gRapeLyfe, can you concur on that? Because there's been times where you're like, you're a fucking mind reader.
Yeah, that's happened a few times.
And yeah, I think there was one time when the Matchy Boy contest was going on, And Dama and Broken Sketchbook went on their honeymoon in Puerto Vallarta, which I will be going in about 40-something days. But I was putting the Magic Boy in, like, locations in the, like Hawaii and Arizona and this and that, San Francisco. I was like, oh, I'll put one up in Puerto Vallarta saying, I'm looking for Dama and Broken Sketchbook. So in my mind, it was just like, boom, do that. So I did it. And the picture I put it next to was like a statue. And I think Broken Sketchbook or Tom, one of them was like, hey man, we were like there like 30 minutes ago. And I was like, yep, that's just my shining. So gRapeLyfe, can you concur on that, or am I just fucking weird?
Wait, didn't you already ask me that? Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I'm just fucking weird, I know. But yeah, I don't know if I have that, but I feel like I do sometimes. And yeah, I don't fuck with Ouija boards, because you might just bring in the wrong kind of energy. And, yeah, that would fucking suck. And, yeah. I don't know. So, gRapeLyfe, do you got any kind of... Well, I asked him this before. I was like, do you have any ghost stories, alien, weird, UFO sightings, anything like that? He was like, nah. But now that you thought about it for a little bit, how about that sleep paralysis? Do you have any weird stories like that? Have you seen any shadow people before?
I've been experiencing sleep paralysis for probably... It's been a long time. Ever since I was a little kid. When I was incredibly young, I didn't understand it. I didn't know what it was. So, of course, it was creepy. I don't recall having any incredibly crazy episodes. Except for maybe... when I was a very young kid. I vaguely remember things like something like falling off of my shelf, or imagining, maybe someone shaking me or waking me up or poking me in bed and kind of scaring me. But at the same time, I was a logical kid. I don't know. It was so easy for me to just write it off as to find an explanation like, well, something fell off the shelf, or this happened or that happened. So when I was very young, I very quickly convinced myself that whatever I thought I was experiencing was very likely not what I thought it was. The craziest experiences I've had when it comes to sleep paralysis and just like kind of out-of-body experiences, they first started occurring when I was working midnights. And it was probably a couple of years into working that shift before these crazy things would start to happen. One example is this. It was an incredibly common occurrence for me to lay down and fall asleep so fucking fast. I mean, I could fall asleep sitting up. I could fall asleep standing sometimes, because you just get so exhausted and your body just hated you for working this horrible fucking shift. So there would be times where I could crawl into bed, lay down, and I would be dreaming within minutes of laying down and closing my eyes. And in this instance, I lay down, the sun was already starting to rise. There was the glow of the sunlight coming through the window. I could clearly see most everything in my room. My girlfriend at the time was sleeping in the bed next to me, and my dog was kind of curled up in between the both of us. And I remember, just closing my eyes and very quickly going into a dream. And it's irrelevant what the dream was, but what would happen was I would very quickly then kind of wake up from the dream, because my body was kind of like, hey, you're not supposed to be dreaming yet. And I'd be laying there and I'd wake up and I'd open my eyes, but the sleep paralysis had still been like sitting in. It was still there, and I was still in a very relaxed state. So I couldn't move, but it was more than I couldn't move. I could move, but it wasn't my body that I was moving. So I was able to like kind of what felt like start to rise up out of my body and out of my bed, but it wasn't my physical body that I was moving. And as I would start to kind of lift up and pull away from my body, this like electric impulse would kind of flow throughout me and feel incredibly strange. So in this instance, I had just woken up. And, you know, so I'd kind of move and I rolled over and I thought, man, that was really weird. But then when you're in a state where you're so tired and so exhausted, I would start to go back into this like sleep paralysis state before my conscious brain had even shut off. So once again, I would feel I could literally I would always get crazy that second or third time I started to fall back asleep, because I could consciously be aware of the fact that I was falling asleep, but my body was falling asleep first. And it was the most insane feeling in the world. It was like you felt your whole body just start to kind of go numb and just detach from reality, but your eyes are still open and you can still see everything. You start to sense like a presence around you, and it feels uncomfortable. It feels like the best way I can describe the feeling is whatever is around you, it's telling you you're not supposed to be here and be like this. You're not supposed to be in this state. So then the electrical impulses would kind of shoot through my body again, and I would kind of wrestle myself awake again. And this would happen and on and off, multiple times pretty much, until I forced myself to stay awake for a few minutes, and it would kind of reset my body, and then eventually I'd fall asleep and everything would be normal. So that's one example of the weird sleep paralysis. So I explain it in terms of, well, my body's going crazy and kind of haywire, and I'm experiencing the signal of my brain telling my body to shut off and stop working, and I'm somehow consciously aware of the beginning of sleep, and it's like a DMT trip. That's the best way I can explain it. Even though I've never tripped on DMT, to me it's sort of like what it would feel like coming in and out of a DMT trip. And it's a very strange experience, and it doesn't scare me much anymore. It's just strange. I mean, it doesn't happen very often anymore either, because I work more of a normal shift and I tend to usually get plenty of sleep. So that's kind of one thing that has happened. And then I also have experiences where I guess it's the weirdest when I have these quote-unquote dreams that have the physical feeling of that kind of out-of-body state, and I'm in somewhere, in a location very, very, very close to where I'm already at. So, for example, if I were in my condo, these out-of-body states would occur in my condo, and I could float around my house and look around, and again, it would be a very strange, like, uninviting feeling of floating around. And the strange thing would always be that the time of day was irrelevant. It was like I was there, but the concept of night and day was irrelevant. So sometimes it would be kind of foggy and like dim and dark, but it was dark because it was like my ability to see through that veil that was dark. It wasn't that it was light or dark out. And in those instances, I could rarely ever interact with anyone else or anything, at least no one in physical reality. And it's just happened a lot of times. And I guess this kind of goes back to when I was younger, because I would frequently, when I first started lucid dreaming as a kid, I would frequently leave my house, and if it was nighttime, I would leave my house during the night in this kind of what was like an out of body state and float around my neighborhood and kind of like snoop on neighbors and this and that. And it was, at that time, I just related it as it's all solely a dream. But it makes me wonder if maybe there were times where I had actually, maybe you can leave your body and experience an out of body experience. Maybe that's possible. I don't know. But when I was young, who knows what was going on. So it was really strange. And like I said, I've had it's very difficult for me to kind of describe what it feels like and what happens, because when it's not happening or you haven't had it happen in a while, you kind of lose touch with it. And it's been a little while. So, if I was in the right state of mind and in the right headspace, I could probably explain this far more eloquently than I have just now. It took a lot of talking to even get out what I just got out. There's going to be lots of cuts and edits in this that I'm not looking forward to, because it's just a really weird experience that occurs, and a lot of it all ties together, and it's never clear cut. It's very frequently something that starts out as a lucid dream turns into what feels like out of body experience, which turns into having one of those dreams that are emotionally like really shaking to the point to where something feels so real or someone will feel so familiar. It's just crazy. There's still this, I guess I call her this woman that like plagues my dreams, and it's always the same person, but she never looks exactly the same. And it's like when I get around her, it's like you feel like you're connected. That makes me wonder what the fuck that is. More than likely, it's me talking to... I mean, it is. If you think about it, it's you talking to yourself. Even when you communicate with people in dreams, a lot of the time, I mean, from what we understand, it's you communicating with yourself. Like, it's happening in your brain. If you believe that dreams are solely just a product of your imagination or your mind, your brain doing whatever it's doing, then that's you having a conversation with yourself. And everything that occurs was manifested by you. Now, if you believe that dreams take you to another place, that's another story. I'm starting to think that it's more of a combination of the two. It's your subconscious mind. It still has, I think, I wonder if our subconscious mind is still a sort of a filter for what we are experiencing in this, maybe this other dimension, this other timeless place. And maybe the reason it's cloudy and doesn't make sense, and it's confused with things that we can logically explain off, and things that we explain to be the brain doing, or some of the physical sensations we feel. It's because it's like a reality within a reality, and there's all these filters. It's like putting multiple filters on top of an image. When you stack those filters up, that affects how you perceive that image. Just as with anything, when it comes to the brain and comes to life in general, our existence and our perception of life is how we see it, how we filter it, how we experience it. My perception of reality is going to be different than your perception of reality. And that exists for everyone. That's why some people can be cool with having less and that's why there are people that live in countries that are far poorer than ours but live happy lives. That's why there are people that live in this country that someone who has more may say, oh, their life must be miserable, but that person may be happier than someone who is a billionaire. Our perception is what colors our reality. And that also applies to dreams. I'm going to stop there.
Well, yeah. Cool story, bro. Yeah. All right. So, I guess that's gonna be it for the sci-fi mysteries. Next time I will bring up topics about this. I got some reptilian recordings. I have some the gray alien recordings, and some Palladians. So next time I'll put those up, and we'll talk about we'll try to talk about like Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, dinosaurs being cloned, and Area 51. I'll bring that up sometimes. Maybe next time we'll do the Black Knight. Yeah, that one's a cool one. The Black Knight is I'll just tell you what it is. You can always Google it. But it's a satellite that's in our orbit, and it's been there since the 1800s. Yeah, so we've been to the moon, 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s? I don't know. And this fucking thing's been there before we even touched the moon. So who put it up there? I gotta guess. Probably the Greys, because they're kind of like the observers. During the War of the Palladians and the Reptilians, they were kind of just watching, and they document it. Kind of like how the Amish always know, like how they can trace your roots back and stuff. Kind of like that. But yeah, that thing's been out there forever. Mr. Tesla is the one that actually communicated to it back in the 1800s and stuff. So I think he was the first person though, because he was always doing shit with electricity and stuff. So we'll do a little talk about that next time. Yeah. So now, you got any more stories you want to share before I get to the interview and AMA and shoutouts, gRapeLyfe? Anything. It doesn't have to be about ghosts. It doesn't have to be about any of that shit. Do you got any shit stories? Any more good shit stories? Or whatever you want, buddy. Go for it.
You know what? I just don't have any more stories right now. I mean, I always have stories, but I don't have nothing worth telling right now, not off the top of my head. And it's getting late, and I think I should probably just focus my time on the current events section.
Alright, you don't know what you said? You don't know story? What story? And, well, let's move on, because I'll find out later. So, well, now it's time for our interviews, and I have an interview, and it is with Cleveland Rewind. So, let's get into that right now. Time, and today I have Cleveland Rewind with me. So, why don't you say hello to everybody? Oh, wait, look what time it is. It's 4:20. Why don't you say hello to everybody, and why don't you get fucking loaded while you're doing it? That sounds like fun, right?
What's up, everybody? What up, Sci-Fi? What up, gRapeLyfe? What up, DVDASA fam? Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we get it fucked up on this interview. That's for damn sure. So, man, I forgot all my questions. No, I didn't. Yeah, no. How'd you find out about DVDASA, bro?
Well, I found out about DVDASA kind of late in the game. I don't even remember what episode it was. I don't remember the number, but I remember the episode. The way I kind of fell upon it was through YouTube, and I've always been a fan of Dave, and always checking out fucking Dave's artwork, and always been a huge fan because I've essentially been doing street art and following street art and into graffiti and everything of the like since I was a kid. And I remember when Dave did the huge Munko on the 405, and I was showing a friend of mine the Limitless video done by the Iron Lack and a couple Iron Lack videos, and I was like, oh, they have that fucking video of Dave Cho doing the fucking the Munko on the 405, and I was like, dude, you gotta see this piece, this is dope. He's riding the back of this car, and he's fucking getting up and doing it in broad daylight during fucking rush hour and shit, super ballsy. So I show him this shit, and while I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, this is sick. But I see like fucking DVDASA, fucking what you should watch. If you like this, check this out on the side. And there was fucking all these links, and I was like, what the fuck? So I clicked on a couple, and I saw that it was a fucking podcast. And like, I didn't listen to many podcasts at that point in time. Really, the only ones that I was listening to were like music. Because like I fucking didn't know about podcasts really. I was listening to like Stone's Throw and the fucking Low End Theory podcast and Aquarium Drunkard and shit like that, and like really some fucking hip hop shit and some indie shit and some psych shit. But really only listening to it for music, and I was like, well, fucking, I'm jumping on the fucking Dave bandwagon. And so wait, this is fucking how I found out about it. Yeah. Oh shit, what the fuck? Oh fuck. So yeah, that's how I basically found out about it, and from watching that Munko video on the 405. Yeah, sorry. Started getting into other questions.
No problem, bro. You're answering other questions, and I'm forgetting all of my questions. Let me think. So has DVDASA helped you out in any shape, way, or form? Anyway? What is it? Has it helped you?
So DVDASA has helped me. I mean, being an artist and being someone that works with art, fucking the Blueprint episodes were fucking great. And like, I mean, you always got kind of a vibe of like all the shit that he was saying in the Blueprint episodes in that ranch series, like throughout DVDASA, and like really like getting Dave's vibe on fucking how he produces art and like fucking just how he thinks. Like fucking, I mean, it was different than fucking Thumbs Up and shit that I had seen like that, you know? Like it was fucking Dave, and he was raw, and he was fucking talking about fucking art and everything. And you know, the Blueprint series really fucking opened my eyes to some shit and has made me change the way that I'm doing things. I don't fucking like let people fucking inhibit my creativity, like, or what I want to show at my art shows, or like the art that I want to put out. Like, I'm not letting anybody fucking judge or fucking change my creativity. I've still been doing group shows, but like aside from that, working at it like a job, making it meticulous, making myself work no matter what, and fucking inspiration, like, fuck that shit. I took a lot from that. And I mean, also on the point that me and my girlfriend listen to DVDASA sometimes, and like just making her listen to certain episodes that I think are funny, or like points about art that I think she needs to hear, sexuality type shit, you know, like fucking whatever's funny, whatever's great. So I mean, that adds to our road trips. Like, we'll listen to fucking DVDASA when we jump down to fucking LA, or we go up to the Bay. So it's pretty fucking, it's great. It's helped me out in a lot of different ways, from creativity to monotony to everything. Fucking, the show's the best.
Well, yeah, it's the best. It's the best fucking show on Earth. Maybe even the universe. There's some other shows out there in the universe that are pretty cool, though, I gotta admit. They got this one show where it's just a rock, and it's a live rock, and the cameras follow it 24/7. It's kind of like the Truman Show, but it's with a space rock. And I'm so addicted to that fucking show. I mean, you think about it now, it's fucking sounds stupid as fuck. But let me tell you, man, after 2 episodes in, you're hooked. This fucking thing, you would not believe the type of shit this rock gets into. I'll try to bootleg that shit and bring it down here. But, what was that? Well, do you have a favorite DVDASA moment? And if you do, well, what is it?
I mean, there's so many to pick from, but I mean, this is where I want to take it back to, like, how did I find out about DVDASA? One of the first, after I fucking saw that shit, was like, oh, I need to check out this podcast and check out the show, and was waiting until fucking it was just me by myself in the studio. And the best one and my favorite moment had to be the first episode that I listened to. So everybody who knows which episode's which or whatever will go back and obviously know the number, but I fucking don't. But I know that there's also a YouTube video that is an abbreviation and a telling of just this story. But the story in the episode where Dave fucking, like, passes out and has, like, the heart attack, stroke, fucking lapse, like, in the hotel, like, fucking just explaining the height of, like, his gambling and shit. Like, that was the first episode that I listened to. I mean, I just kind of scrolled through and was like, oh, like, fucking, this kind of description sounds good, like, this is going to be hilarious, and I listened to it, and I swear, like, within the first week of listening to DVDASA, that was essentially, this had to be fucking February of last year, because I was living in my last house. Remember listening to it in my studio in the backyard, but oh man, fucking had me laughing my ass off, like running around with lobster tail shells on his dick, chasing all these bitches, and like having all this, just this life of fucking I'm not gonna be able to say it. Fucking, you know what I'm saying. Can't say that word right now. It's not coming to me. But just living like so crazy. Fucking all this money, all this fucking power, and like one of the fucking craziest, fucking dirtiest cities in the world, and like living it like how all of us wish that we could fucking live. All because he's fucking such a badass. And like it really opened my eyes to like how much of a fucking badass Dave Cho is, and how like I look up to the dude, and like it opened my eyes. Like I didn't know about Asa Akira at that point either, and like getting this fucking canter back and forth between the two, and fucking like all these other people on the back. Like, it was super Dave driven, but Asa's like asking the questions and getting it in there, and like I found out who Asa was, like, and fucking, you know, fell in love. And like that episode, that stream of thought, that everything that went, and I fucking, it always pulled everything around. Like, I noticed, like, back in the fucking, the first episodes, fucking, they would always fucking come around and pull around, and like fucking Dave pulling these pieces from this group of people's lives to fucking make it so fucking crazy. But yeah, to fucking, one of my favorite episodes is that episode where Dave talks about fucking all the bitches and fucking winning $1 million here, losing $2 million here, winning $7 million here, losing fucking $12 million here, and fucking, I just remember that story ends with like, oh man, Dave, I heard you lost like fucking $1 million, and he's like, man, motherfucker, I lost like $20 million, like, what the fuck? And it was such an awesome story. I mean, except for like that he could essentially have died that night and shit, and like fucking, but yeah, that's my favorite moment of DVDASA, also my first moment. But yeah, fucking, I need you guys back on the air. All right.
They'll be back. They'll definitely be back. Don't worry. But well, let's get into some shit right now. Cause this episode that this interview's gonna be on, we're gonna talk about some paranormal shit. We're gonna talk about reptilians. We're gonna talk about fucking UFOs, ghosts, shadowy figures. And well, do you have any type of stories like that, man?
I mean, fuck, yeah, of course, like, why the fuck not would I not believe in fucking reptilians, UFOs, ghosts, fucking paranormal, all this shit, all this stuff you guys are talking about this episode, the fuck would I not? Like, I mean, I think people that don't, like, just fucking don't smoke weed or aren't fucking open-minded enough, but, I mean, shit, dude, the universe is infinite, right? So, like, it goes on forever. It goes on, like, there's no stopping it. There's no stopping it, right? So, if that's a fucking real possibility, then why the fuck not would there not be another planet that could have this fucking magical thing happen to create the Earth? Why can't there be another fucking solar system, a galaxy, a fucking sun, everything? Why not? It's infinite. It's infinite. Like, we could go through fucking 1 million generations of travel. People fucking in space and knocking out babies, and those babies fucking in space, and 1 million generations traveling through space and fucking going to reach the end of the galaxy. And after that, once they fucking kill each other and go fucking Donner party on each other because they run out of fucking space ice cream or whatever the fuck, they could still not reach that fucking other galaxy because that's how fucking huge it is. So, I mean, to even, I haven't seen, I mean, I've seen weird shit in the sky and, like, been tripping and, like, doing a bunch of drugs and seen shit, or just been smoking weed and seen shit, or, like, whatever. Like, I've seen some shit and people been, like, yelling at me saying that it was, like, some plane, or it's just some crazy, like, fucking whatever, dude. Like, fuck you. Even if you can't look at the cold hard facts and fucking see the shit, like, how could you not believe in reptilians and fucking UFOs? Like, I haven't seen one personally. I mean, I've seen a bunch of weird, crazy figures and, like, sleaze stacks in fucking psychedelic trip outs and shit like that. But, I mean, of course that could be a fucking, my mind opened up to the other dimensions and it not just being some poison fucking running through my body or whatever. who the fuck knows, dude? But like, I've seen shit. I know people that have seen shit, and I look at the fucking bare basis, and like, there's definite possibility that the shit could be true, and the shit could happen, and I mean, fucking, yeah. So, I haven't touched on ghosts. I believe in ghosts and the paranormal, and just like the fucked up S's, dude, like S's that, like, our souls, what we like fucking boil down to. Like, why can't I say like words with E's and S's? Essence, your essences. It's because I'm pluralizing them all. Things, the essences. Okay, so like herbal essences. Leaving our souls, like your souls, I think like when shit is tortured and people are fucking crazy and fucking you die a weird way or you've lived a tortured life, like things get embedded into fucking places and things and fucking even people, like all fucking nouns get fucking, can get this bad karma, this bad juju, this bad weird shit. And like the only reason why I believe it is because my stepmom told me the story of like when she was fucking an adolescent and growing up, and like that she just was having a like really hard time, and fucking it was just, life was super shitty, and like I don't want to get into like what happened around this moment, but she was like getting ready in the bathroom for her day, and out of nowhere, like she just saw a figure in the corner of her eyes, like a 6'5" man, but it was the shadow, like just a shadow of this man standing upright in the doorway. And like she saw it in her peripheral vision, looks up, and it just like is standing there looking at her. There's no facial features, there's no fucking anything that you can just say like this is this person, or they have like a big fucking nose and eyebrows and shit. You can't, like, it's just a shadow. It's just like a fucking silhouette of this person, but it's 3-dimensional. And she said that they stared at each other for a second, it put its head down and evaporated. And it fucking freaked her the fuck out, and like fucking she kind of like, she got scared automatically, and then she just felt like at ease. She wasn't scared of it. Like there was the initial like adrenaline fucking pump of like being startled, but then she was just like, she felt a calming to it. And fucking, I swear, like she says that like during times of turmoil and just randomness, this figure shows up, and it's been following her around like since she's been fucking a teenager. And I mean, I kind of wrote it off as like fucking garbage and shit, and like she's telling me these stories like fucking, I'm probably like 11 or 12, like I used to like fucking crazy scary movies, and like fucking before the internet, like you go fucking chill and camp in your backyard with your friends and you tell ghost stories, and like that shit was cool. We'd always fucking break into abandoned houses and like fucking just be like crazy fucking shit was like when roller coasters are cool, right? They're cool. I mean, personally, I don't like going upside down and going all crazy and shit and wasting my time in a line for it, but they're cool. But what really fucking is awesome is like getting scared as fuck. Like that shit's cool to me ever since I was a kid. So we always try to do like scary shit, and like fucking she's telling me the story and I'm like, oh fuck, like that really weirded me out. And like I started kind of like getting into positions where, like, fucking, I just feel that, like, that shit, you know? And, like, fucking straight years go by, and I'm probably, like, 16 or 17, and I'm staying at my fucking dad's house, where my stepmom is, and fucking just really wasn't having a good go of it, you know? Like, fucking wasn't fucking really happy at that point, super depressed, was fucking still like a shitty kid, and fucking, you know, like, was a sensitive artist in my own right, and fucking, I'm laying on the couch watching fucking HBO, and, like, I'm fucking just chilling, like, laying there, and it's fucking probably, like, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and I just really, fucking was just taking stock of my life, and, like, thinking about that, not even watching whatever movie was on fucking the TV and shit, and I'm fucking laying there, and out of the, like, I see something move from the hallway that's across the room from me, and it comes out of the hallway, and it's this figure, it's this, like, fucking tall being, dude. It's this huge thing, like, fucking, you guys are gonna laugh, but, like, it walks out fucking through the hallway, kind of at the, where the living room meets the kitchen and shit. It stands there and looks at me, like, turns, like, I can see its shoulder movement, and it's, like, three-dimensional, but it's this huge fucking figure, and it, like, I mean, it could have been a woman, but it was so massive, and, like, was kind of thick, so, like, I obviously took it as the man, like, was thinking of, like, this apparition figure that fucking follows my stepmom, and this shit, like, fucking pauses, looks at me, turns back to go walk down the hallway, takes 2 steps, and evaporates. Just comes out, like, looks at me, looks at the room, fucking turns around and walks away. And, like, I got freaked the fuck out. But then I thought back to my stepmom and all this shit that had happened, and, like, fucking, I chilled the fuck out, you know? And, like, there's kind of, like, another story that I have where, like, I think I've fucking seen, like, fucking another ghost where, I mean, it just, someone was walking around in my backyard. My room had windows that led out to the backyard. I could see someone walking up to the window, walking around, and I fucking run, grab a bat, and go and run into the backyard. And where this person should have been from the pace of their walking and where they would be, like, I would have been right up on them with baseball bat to their dome, you know? And, like, there was nothing. I walked all around my backyard. I was looking for shit. Like, someone was walking around in my backyard. I fucking go out there and there's no one. And, like, I mean, you could probably fucking take that as me being, like, fucking, I was 19 at this point in time. And fucking, I was smoking weed, so I could, whatever. Like, I saw it. I know what I saw. And fucking, it's true, like, fucking ghosts and all that shit is no joke. Really, like, either you just, like, you fucking accept that it's not real and you don't believe it, and fucking, you block it out and you don't have these experiences in your life. But I mean, for all those skeptics and all the people that want to clown on my shit, open your eyes. Go get into some ghost type activities, you know? Like, fucking open it up. Don't be a skeptic. Fucking be open to the idea of a ghost. Go to some fucking abandoned warehouse or some fucking haunted house that fucking people used to talk about as a kid. Try and see the shit and be open to it. And I mean, fucking these experiences have come to me, and I'm open to it. So fuck yeah, I believe in reptilians, UFOs, fucking the paranormal, ghosts, fucking entities, different dimensions. I mean, I'm not gonna fucking close my mind off of anything, because, like, I believe in the science, and, like, I believe in fucking trying to be open and figure all this shit out. If someone can think it, it's a possibility. So, yeah, of course I fucking believe in all that shit. So, I hope fucking no one decides to clown, and everyone, after listening to this episode, with all the paranormal talk and shit, actually, like, gets out. Tell me about your ghost stories. Let's talk about some shit, because that shit's cool to me. Yeah. Sorry that took so long. Fucking 13 minutes, man.
It's all good, man. Those are some trippy fucking stories, man. Fucking trippy shit, bruh. But, well, let's get to everybody's favorite question. Well, it seems like everybody's favorite question. It's fuck, kill, marry time. Asa, Heather, and Kalila. Go.
Oh, sorry. So, fuck, kill, marry. I'm assuming this trips me out because, like, you gotta fuck one, you gotta kill one, you gotta marry one. So I always take it as, like, you kill the person, they're gone forever. And, like, that's fucked up. The fuck is, like, you get to fuck that person for the rest of your life. So that leads, in my eyes, like, since that's going to be the person I'm going to be having sex with instead of my wife, who I'm still going to be married to, I still have this other person that I'm having sex with the whole time. So, and then I'm married to the last person. So fuck, kill, marry. I'll make this super easy. The kill, sorry, we'll get the nastiness out of the way. The kill would have to be Kalila. I'm sorry, sweetheart, like, the reasoning is in the other ones. You take out Heather Leather or put someone else in, like, obviously I'm gonna fuck or marry you, but it's because of my choice with the fuck. Fuck would be fucking Heather Leather, fucking Hot Dog Heather. Like, out of all the stories, like, she's a freak and she's down for whatever. So, like, no matter what I'm into right now, she's gonna be fucking wanting to push the limits and getting into fucking later down the line, and fucking always gonna be good. She's fucking hot. I mean, why not? Like, if you want the freak, it feels like the super freak out of all of them, Heather Leather. So that's gonna be, like, the chick that I want to fuck for the rest of the time. And then, of course, like, I'm gonna marry Asa. Like, Asa's my favorite female of the group. She's, like, the perfect fucking wife. Like, Tony is the fucking luckiest motherfucker in the world. Like, not only does he, like, I mean, it's his job, but he's fucking girls on the side. She's super cool with it. But, like, everything else, the text, like, if you don't follow Asa on Instagram and see, like, how her and Tony text, like, that's how me and my girlfriend text. Not as crazy. But, like, fucking, of course, kill Kalila, fuck Heather, marry Asa. Love Asa.
I love how everybody has different answers for everything. It's so cool. Alright. So, let's see. I totally forgot all these fucking questions because I'm so loaded. Anyway. Alright, so out of the gang, the DVDASA gang, like Dave, Asa, Critter, Val, Porter, Steve Lee, fucking Bobby Trivia, Critter, Heather Leather, Kalila, Bobby Lee, all them motherfuckers, everybody. Who's your favorite and why?
This is pretty obvious. Like, my favorite fucking part of the gang is Dave. Like, Dave's my favorite. I'm an artist, so I pull a lot of, like, shit from Dave and, like, kind of how I see, like, the world and, like, how I wish, like, fucking I live my life. Like, fucking I pull a lot from Dave, and, like, he's my favorite member. But I also like Val. Fucking Val's funny, dude. Like, when Val cracks up, like, it's something that fucking, like, is super funny. I love the whole crew. I mean, fucking, but as you can tell, I've liked Dave for a long time, so obviously he's my favorite member.
Oh damn, we still smoking? Alright, hold on. So, if you could add a segment to DVD ASA, what would that segment be, homie?
If I could add a segment to DVD ASA, what would it be? Well, really, I'd like to see fucking more Val. More Val, maybe like a Val and Dave fucking segment where like Dave just fucking asks Val some fucking questions, because like I love the banter between Dave and Val. Always Val has funny stories. I mean, the last couple episodes he's been like, no, we can't talk about that. And he's got bitches listening to his shit. But, I mean, fucking something where like Val starts telling some stories like fucking he used to and shit. Get something back. Get more Val in there. Fucking love that guy. And fucking the way Dave asks him questions, it would be hilarious to get that banter back and forth. Also, I'd like to see fucking, I'm a big fan of like the Stern Show, and like I know Dave was too, and I'm sure like some of the fucking listeners, because like that's what I thought of when I thought of DVD ASA, and I fucking found out about like all the Saga 1 shit. When I was listening to all that stuff, like the look of the studio and the layout reminded me of the Stern Show. And I mean, if I could change anything or add anything, it would be something like that. Something where the studio is back to like super good audio, fucking still able to get crazy, have that horseshoe set up. But yeah, something cool like that, because it really reminds me of this old Stern Show, and it fucking watching those old episodes now, like I'll throw those on because it reminds me of being a little kid and staying up late to watch Stern on E. Man, I miss that shit. So yeah, if I had to add any segment, it would definitely be Val and Dave fucking chopping it up. Alright, next question.
Nice. We need more Val. I think I said in a previous episode I would like to see Val with a final thought in every episode. A nice little 10, 15 second, maybe even a minute final thought on what he thought of the episode. That'd be cool. That'd be fucking cool. One day, hopefully they're listening. Hey Val, how about you, or Dave? Let's make this happen, huh? Alright, next question, huh? Well, do you consider yourself a sensitive artist? Because I see from your profile you are an artist. So are you a sensitive artist?
Fuck, man. Like, yeah, I do consider myself a sensitive artist. Being an artist, I mean, we're all fucking sensitive, and we all fucking get judged all the time on our work and like what we're doing and how we are and our lifestyle. And yeah, I was probably a sensitive motherfucker before, but it's made me more sensitive. But I mean, I'm really a depressive person and fucking have my depressive fucking shit that goes on in my life. Yeah, I'm a sensitive artist. Like, I have cried while making paintings and shit. Like, putting that emotion on fucking a canvas, like, it's brought me to tears, like, while painting it. And I mean, just that emotion and fucking being a sensitive artist, like, I fucking draw, like, to try and give, like, a certain emotion, either happiness or freak someone the fuck out. I really, yeah, I don't want to get in here and like get clowned on, but yeah, as all artists, we're all sensitive, and I'm sure we can all fucking vibe with that. And that's what's cool. Double vag, double anal, sensitive artist. Fucking, yep.
That's cool, man. I think deep down inside we all are. So, let's see. Well, for the people out there that don't know who Cleveland Rewind is, well, why don't you tell us a little about yourself, homie? Yeah, let the people know who is Cleveland Rewind?
Oh, man. This is kind of a weird question. I don't like talking about myself. I recorded like 2 of these before this one. My name's Cleveland Rewind. That's my artist pen name. Don't like to put my government name out there. Essentially, I'm just a fucking artist that smokes too much and drinks too much coffee. I have a job as a barista, where I make coffee fucking all day and fucking make art all night. I've been hitting these art shows and running art shows and promoting and doing art shows here fucking locally where I live. There's really not much of an art scene around here, so fuck it, I'm trying to pull that out and fucking make it. Just really not fucking letting the fucking community and the environment and fucking the Walmart lifestyle around here fucking govern it. So I want these things to happen and fucking making it happen, making fucking shirts, making fucking new stickers, getting fucking the shit out there, getting art out. I do Free Art Friday where I fucking go out and I make art pieces and I put them out in the community for people to fucking find for free on Fridays. Been doing that for a couple years. Got my own website, fucking clevelandrewind.com, where I try to fucking throw up blog posts and fucking shit that I'm doing. Haven't been doing that lately. Been fucking kind of lagging on that, but staying more up on social media, like the Instagram, showing off my art there and the promotion. And I mean, I also have Twitter and Facebook and Tumblr and all that shit, all Cleveland Rewind. But yeah, I won't get into the basis of why, like, I call myself Cleveland Rewind or tag that or any of that shit right now. I had my own podcast for a minute. That shit's off. Munchies on Munchies. Just me and another homie fucking chilling, eating some snacks and getting the munchies. So, yeah, essentially, I'm just an artist trying to chill, hang out, trying to expand art and expand, like, just the culture and really, like, vibing with all these artists and all these people and getting it out there. So, yeah, I guess it's still kind of long-winded, but I'm not too braggadocious, so yeah, hit me up on Instagram or check out my website or Facebook or Twitter or whatever. Fucking cool dude, and I like fucking interacting with the fam. So yeah, hope that answers the question, I guess.
Awesome, man. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing all your stories. And everybody go follow Cleveland Rewind. He's a good dude. Super cool. Yeah, I said it's super fucking cool. And, well, it's time to wrap this interview up. Again, thank you for doing this interview. I've had a lot of fun getting high as hell with you, that's for sure. And, well, what's your last words for the DVDASA fam?
Last words, I want more episodes. I mean, I know these breaks are fucking partially intentional and, like, catching up on shit and changes and everything, but, yeah, I'm looking forward to new fucking episodes, but during these breaks, I mean, the recap show has been cool, checking out this stuff. I mean, trivia came last time. We're getting it in like a month or so, or whenever this fucking airs. But yeah, looking forward to that and like fucking finding more out about fan members. Like fucking in these breaks, it kind of pulls us all together, and like you fucking are looking for DVDASA type stuff going on. So I mean, I check out the posts and little pictures and fucking SciFi's fucking Instagram and shit. But yeah, I mean, fucking during this hiatus, I mean, we still got shit going on, and fucking we have all the old episodes this time, so I've been watching Backstock and re-listening to shit. But yeah, I mean, fucking everybody in the fam has been awesome. Fucking love you guys. Love everyone on the show. And fucking glad to kind of be a part of it. And yeah, fucking miss the show. Love the show. Love everyone. That's basically it. Fucking thank you guys. Peace out. Sci-Fi. gRapeLyfe. What?
Welcome to his birthday.
All right. How about that? Was that good or what? That motherfucker can talk just like Bindu. You and Bindu, man. You guys clocked in about the same time, and they're both fucking awesome interviews. So, everybody go check out Cleveland Rewind's art and follow him if you want. And yeah, I guess it's time for some trivia with Sci-Fi. Alright, let me just put this out there now. Boom. It's already on Instagram. It's Friday. So, and it's a Bobby trivia. Good old Bobby trivia. And it was, where did Bobby and Quiet Sea go on their honeymoon? Does anybody remember? It is, well, it's Morea. And that was, it's a little island. I think I talked about it in a previous episode. Little island in, around Tahiti, near Bora Bora. I wanted to go to Bora Bora before, but it's so fucking expensive now, and all these stupid stars go there. And Tahiti, I've heard bad things about. I heard that the people there aren't that fond of tourists, and they're just kind of sick of people. And it's just not the same as Bora Bora. And then you got Morea, which is pretty much right next to Tahiti. And I heard that one's pretty much, it's nicer than Tahiti, but it's not as nice as Bora Bora, but it's still beautiful. And the people there and everything are great. So, let's see who gets that, huh? Alright. Well, I know since I was going to do AMAs this episode, but that was kind of a long interview, so I think I'm going to save the AMAs for next week. So, if you want to ask a question still, you still got any questions you want to do, you could check those out. I don't know, what post did I put mine on? It was me taking a selfie with some rodent in Australia that got super famous because a bunch of people took selfies with it, and the fucking little guy just makes the perfect faces for taking selfies. I don't know. And then gRapeLyfe took one of his little boo-boo on his hand. Oh, poor guy got a little blister. Jesus Christ. God, gRapeLyfe. You really are great. He put like Heather Leather's picture from the DVDASA app kissing it. Jeez. You gotta work on your pictures, bro. I'm not trying to hate or anything, but come on. If I could do it, you could do it. That's for damn sure. So, well, yeah, I saw some of the questions on that thing, and I was like, there's one where I think Framsky asked me when I died. And I talked about this just a little while ago before the interview about how I almost died off of acid. So I'll leave that story because that's a good 10, 20-minute story. I'll leave that one for next week. It's a good one. I got fucked up. Almost injected some ketamine in me. Some special K, but I said no. Because I was already on fucking a lot. But we'll get into that next week. And, well, let's do the Shout outs of the week. Shout outs of the week. Yeah. Let me go put this up. Oh, stop. I don't have that many. Not that many this week. We'll start off with the Bright Dick. This guy has been consistent with the last 2 to 3 episodes. No email this time about gRapeLyfe, so I think you and Bright Dick maybe squashed whatever beef you guys had. So, what to you, motherfucker? And we have Kaz1 from Down Under. He has been supporting the show like crazy. And I want to thank you, sir. Woot. And then, of course, we have Be Happy 4430. She's always helping out the show. And last but not least, well, he's a regular. It's good old Changnesia 1. My homie from 6th grade. Thanks, brother. Woo. TGFU to all of you.
Just button in here for one quick second. We missed one person. We miss this person all the time. DVDASA family. Somehow we always miss you. It's probably because SciFi can't see your posts. Still haven't figured that one out. So shout out to you, DVDASA family.
And that's pretty much going to be it for the shout outs of the week. Alright. Let's see if anybody got the trivia. Doubt it. But let's check it out. Yeah, I probably should have did this a little while ago because nobody's going to get it, I don't think. Alright, let's see. Guess it's time for the movie of the week. So, let's see. I didn't really watch anything new. I revisited a old movie that I love. It is called Hobo with a Shotgun. And, I love this fucking movie. At first when I saw previews for it, it was like on TV, like late at night. And I was like, what the fuck is that? What kind of movie is this? And how the hell can they afford a commercial? And I kind of just played it off, but I heard good things about it. So I was like, really? Good things about this? It looks like a grindhouse. It pretty much is a grindhouse type of movie. And then, I was like, well, let me check it out. So I watched it, and I fucking loved it. Because it's just like a hobo, he comes on a train into a town. I think it was called Fucktown. I just remember one of the main bad guys would be like, welcome to Fucktown. And this movie is bloody as fuck. I don't want to spoil too much, but I will tell you a little bit about it. It's pretty much like a dad and his sons, and they're fucking crazy. It starts off with, they got Ricky from Trailer Park Boys, if you all know that show. That's like one of my favorite shows. Although I like the older ones better. But, I forgot what they called it, but they put him into a weird, what was that, manhole, like the sewer manholes? They put him in like a manhole necklace, and they put him in a sewer, so he's just hanging there, but his head's above ground. And they wrap like a barbed wire chain, and then dude takes off on a motorcycle, and his fucking head pops off, and blood shoots in the air. And then some weird chick just starts dancing and taking a shower under it, and it was like, oh, this movie is fucking awesome already. And that was like the first, I don't know, it's like right when the hobo gets into town. So there's a lot of crazy shit that goes on during this movie. And one of the brothers has like some obsession with wearing like not rollerblades, but ice skates. He likes to wear ice skates. And he fucking like does all these crazy karate kicks and stuff. And yeah, he does a lot of like wheel kicks and roundhouses, and he'd be slicing up motherfuckers with that. And it's just a good fucking, I think this movie came out in 2012, 2011 or something. But it's definitely feels like a nice 70s grindhouse movie. Definitely better than that Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez one they came out with. I was okay with Robert Rodriguez one. I forgot what it was called. God, I forgot. But the Death Proof one that Tarantino did, I was kind of disappointing in that one because it was, it wasn't, there was too much talking. I know he's all about the dialogue and it's his thing, but there's just way too much girl talk for me to handle. And yeah, so I'm gonna give that motherfucking movie gets a 5 out of fucking 5 for sure. And, sorry, all that pot smoking making me a little tired. Not much in sports. Well, we did have, actually, man, we had UFC. I don't know the number. I used to know, but now I totally just forgot what number it was. But it was, Anthony Pettis versus Dos Anjos. And Anthony Pettis, he's been on a tear lately. He's pretty much, he lost his first fight in the UFC against Clay Guida, but he beat everybody else, got the belt from Benson Henderson. And I think he's defended the title 2 or 3 times. But this Dos Anjos guy just fucking lit him up. He just went in there, put the pressure on him, and beat him, pretty much beat the shit out of him the whole time. I mean, yeah, Anthony Pettis landed some head kicks here and there, but for the most part, they weren't doing shit to him. Plus, Anthony Pettis looked like he went through the meat grinder, and Dos Anjos pretty much looked like he just took a shower. Nice shower. So, yeah, that was a good fight. The Roy Nelson versus Alistair Overeem fight, that was also pretty good. Yeah. I kind of wanted Alistair to lose, but just because I'm a fan of Roy Nelson. And he seems like he's a fan of Dave Cho, because when Dave and them went to the John Jones, Daniel Cormier fight, I saw that picture with them all together, so that looked cool. And let's see. That was pretty much, they had some other strawweight girl fight, but I didn't really know either one of them, but that other girl that didn't have the belt beat the brakes off the girl that did have the belt and pretty much fucked her up. So, congrats to you. Alright, let me just check the trivia. I don't think anybody's gonna get this one. I think we got our first sci-fi stumper. Plus my fucking internet connection is not helping at all. Alright, well, I guess that's all I got for now. So before I wrap it up, gRapeLyfe, you got any current events for us? Please do tell.
All right. It is current events with gRapeLyfe. Here we go. So, on this edition of current events, we'll start off by saying, I never fucking plan this shit out. I just go off on the top of my head, and it's only been in the past couple of weeks that I've even begun to write anything down in terms of what the fuck I'm going to talk about and what I'm going to do. So, this week, I've tried to keep track of the things that might be worth mentioning. So, the first thing I want to mention is, if you guys remember Evelyn from DVDASA, apparently she has a new boyfriend. Well, no, she has a new pussy and a new boyfriend. Yes. Eva Lynn was the TS person who, at the time she was on DVDASA, she still had a dick, and now she no longer has a dick. So she has a pussy and a new boyfriend, and she posted a photo of the new boyfriend, but not her new pussy. I kind of want to see her new pussy. I really want to. I want to see how the technology has come. I want to know what it looks like now. Anyway, you go, girl, boy, girl, fuck it. Who cares? You're hot. So yeah. In other news, this is my little search for DVDASA section to try to figure out what the fuck's going on, especially when DVDASA is on a little bit of a hiatus. I like to use this as a, I like to sometimes take a little dive and see if I can find out what's going on. Oh, okay. So, I was kind of lurking around on Reddit, and once again, even if I'm on Reddit, I don't ever fucking post anything, so sorry, Changnesia, I just don't do it. I'm a lurker. I'm just a fucking lurker. And reading the DVDASA Reddit is fucking depressing because it's usually just people bitching and throwing a fit and being negative and being fucking shit fucks. Except for you, Bright Dick. And, well, there's a few other people who are pretty awesome. We'll get to you in a minute. Okay, so there is a post by, under the title of potential news about the show, someone had said, I ran into Joey and Crit Dog at the comic book store. They were way cool when it came to say I was a fan of the show. I asked him what was up with DVDASA. Dave must have just fucked a hooker because he was in a good mood and said some serious shit is about to drop in 2 weeks. Hong Galaxy? Saga 3? Poons thing? Anyways, now I know where Joey goes to buy comic books, so hopefully I don't get stalky. And again, I'm sorry, whoever you are who posted this. I screen capped it, so I don't have a photo of who it was, and I don't feel like going on to Reddit to find out who posted this. What else we got? Okay, here's another one. God, I need this dude's name because he's very important. Okay, you know what? I am gonna go into Reddit and find this because this is too important, and you guys need shoutouts. So let's find this shit. Let's see, Alien Blue. Okay. There's a couple things here. This is important. You'll see why in a minute. So, the Darker Dick posted this. He's the person who posted the news about running into Joey and Crit Dog at the comic book store. And unfortunately, the one kind of problem with stuff we see on Reddit is people like to lie and make up stories and fuck with other people and just troll them in general. So, I guess we'll find out what happens, and hell, Joey will troll people as well, so you never really know if a story's true or not, but take it for what it is. This is what the Darker Dick says. What else do we have here? This is very important, so this next one is the one I really want to, here we go. Okay, this is the important one, and okay, so many of you know what Rosebud DVDASA is. It's that YouTube page that we all went to watch the old DVDASA episodes when they all got yanked down when the Rosebud happened. And a lot of people kind of pulled together, and a lot of them actually were from the Reddit community. And they pulled together to get all the videos up there for the fans. So, and I'm glad I saved it because, damn, this sucks. Okay, so this is posted by Warren Chang. Warren Chang is the fucking shit because he is the one who created the DVDASA Rosebud account, and you get so many fucking props, and I really appreciate you doing this, and I know I've said thank you before off air, but thank you again so much for doing this. But unfortunately, I'm going to read his post, and here's the heading. One of the best things to come out of the DVDASA community, the Rosebud DVDASA YouTube page, was taken down because of a malicious campaign to report the channel for spam, scams, or commercially deceptive content. Does anyone have any pull or contacts at YouTube to right this wrong? Now, here's my commentary. This is just fucked up because the beauty and the detriment of having things be automated with YouTube is people that are trying to fuck with someone else can fuck with them and get their shit taken down. And in this instance, spam, scams, or commercially deceptive content, his posts were nothing of that sort. But there were enough hits to his page and complaints by one person or many people that were flagging his shit that YouTube just automatically pulls it down. Here's the rest of the commentary as far as what he has to say. Okay, so with all of your concerted help during the darkest days of the first hiatus, we banded together and got this page up and running. Instead of complaining as usual, we actually helped us help us and got the videos back up ourselves to tide us over until Dave and company's next project. The Rosebud DVD ASA page represented what we could accomplish with a positive frame of mind. Truly great stuff. Sadly, all of the hard Reddit/DVDASA work has been taken down because some person or persons thought it would be satisfying to flag a bunch of videos on the channel to suspend the account. This was the email I received. Now we're quoting an email from YouTube. We'd like to inform you that due to the repeated or severe violations of our community guidelines, http:// I'm not reading that, your YouTube account, Rosebud DVD ASA, has been suspended. After review, we determined that the activity in your account violated our community guidelines, which prohibits spam, scams, or commercially deceptive content, blah, 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 blah. Please be aware that you are prohibited from accessing, possessing, or creating any other YouTube accounts. For more information about account terminations and how our community guidelines are enforced, please visit our help center at... Okay, so they reviewed this, and so what was the answer? So if a person reviewed this, what did they see that was against community guidelines? I mean, I'm sure as like any cop could find a reason to pull you over, I'm sure YouTube can find whatever fucking reason they want to pull your shit down if it gets enough complaints. And little old Rosebud DVD ASA just doesn't have the pull to keep themselves up. Anyway, so he says, do any of you know a way to resolve this? Obviously, I've tried the basic form 3 times now, but to no avail. I just don't have the free time these days to re-upload the entire catalog of videos, but if it comes to that, it can be done and will be done, so there's never lost hope. And then some of our friends commented below on what maybe could be done, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go into too much more here. Once you get to the comments, below the comments, it just gets really fucking ugly. Yeah, so we're not going any further with that. Anyway, so again, Warren Chang, thank you for putting that shit up. We appreciate it. Unfortunately, sometimes when we post things on sites like YouTube or any place that hosts your content for you and has any sort of automated process, you can get that shit yanked and it just sucks. I don't know. So fortunately, someone did put all of the videos into one big torrent file way back during the Rosebud time, and you can find that across the land of torrents and download that. So it's the material's out there and it's back up on the DVDASA page, so it's like it's all there. But yeah, anyway, and I really don't think he had any ads on that webpage, and I don't think he was collecting ad revenue, so I don't know, it's just strange. Anyway, so that's that. So that covers all of the Reddit stuff for the evening. There's some other shit that occurred, but I'm not gonna read that. Sci-Fi knows what I'm talking about. I'm sure Changnesia knows what I'm talking about, and the person who posted this stuff, well, if they listen to the show still, even though they probably claim they don't, they'll know what I'm talking about, and they'll definitely know what I'm talking about when, well, you'll see. Anyway, so what else do we have? Okay, so also in the search for DVDASA news, we have, and this just occurred last night, Queen Asa posted a photo, and she's wearing that infamous black ball cap that has a tits on it. So, from the photo, you can pretty much tell she's sitting in the studio. So does that mean they recorded? Saturday night is a very common night for them to record, so it's very possible that they're back to recording and we are going to get some new stuff soon. So I mean, that does kind of coincide with what that Reddit commenter said, and we may have, the show may be coming back sooner than you think. And if it doesn't, whatever. Let's just take what we've gotten from the show and put it to good use. Not be shitty people because we don't get our way. That's all I'm gonna say. Alright. What else? Don't worry, we're gonna get to the Keep That Fire Alive segment. But first... Okay, so before we get into the Keep the Fire Alive segment, I've got a little commentary on Sci-Fi's bashing that he did because of the image I posted under my Ask Me Anything. First of all, bro, that wasn't my hand, that was my foot. And I know it wasn't some big bad boo-boo. And I know, initially I was like, you know what, I get it, dude. You know, you saw that photo, and it's an easy thing to kind of dig at me for. And then I remembered, we'd already kind of discussed what had happened. So, now I'm not going to cut you a break. So, that photo was essentially a big flap of skin from a blister about the size of a quarter that burst on my foot. It formed and burst all within about an hour and a half. Fuck, what day was this? I think this was Tuesday or Wednesday. I was at the gym doing Muay Thai training, and it was a really intense day where we were doing a lot of kicking and stuff. And at the very end of class, I noticed that my foot felt a little odd, and I figured, yeah, this isn't uncommon. This happens sometimes. I thought maybe I'm starting to get a blister, but no big deal. So as I'm kicking this pad, and we're doing this drill where we're going up and down the gym, kind of forcing the person holding the pad back as we kick. And my instructor, Matty, he at the time he was like, he's standing over my shoulder and he's yelling at me, and he's like stop bending your leg, stop bending your knee, stop moving. And he's just yelling at me like, stop it, stop, dude, straighten your leg, turn like this, do this. So he's got me kicking and kicking and kicking, and I can't stop. And I notice this strange feeling on my left toe. I'm like, this is fucking weird, this kind of hurts a little bit. And then as I'm kicking, I feel this wetness, and then I fucking could literally see this spray of the fluid from a blister that had formed down like just below my big toe, exploding and spraying up the side of the pad. And at that point, the blister had torn open, and now there's just a flap of skin hanging under my big toe. And my feet are kind of calloused in that area, so it was a pretty thick flap of skin. So I'm still kicking, and it's still hurting, and my kicks are getting worse because I'm like, oh, this, every time I move and twist, it's becoming a little bit more painful, and it's hard to focus because I was distracted, and I didn't want to be a bitch about it. And I was like, I can't stop, but at the same time, I kind of want to inspect my foot and not have the skin rip anymore. So finally we finish, and the guy who was working with me, I like turn my foot up, and he sees it, he goes, oh Jesus, do you need to go bandage that? I'm like, no, I'm fine. I'm like, we only got a few minutes left, I'm gonna leave it, I'll just tape it up later. So we keep going, and we finish, and class ends, and then I like get a better look at it, and it's just this big chunk of skin just kind of flapping in the wind. So whatever, I get off, you know, I'm kind of half limping off the mat because it, you know, not because of my like leg hurt, but just because I'm trying not to step on it and get nasty mat shit in it. So of course the instructor, he's like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine, just blister, that's all, I'm fine. So anyway, yeah, not that big of a deal. Got out of class, got home, taped it up. The next day, for maybe the first hour of stepping on it, the next day I was stepping a little awkward, but then I got used to it, and it was fine after that. And then later that day I cut all the dead skin off, and it's fine now. It's not that big of a deal. It was more of, It was a funny story, just kind of at the time what had happened. I was like, oh, I've just never had a blister form that quickly and burst that fast. That's really what was strange about it. That's all. So all it was I thought it looked kind of funny, and I was being lazy. I didn't feel like coming up with a picture to post. Let me just take that first thing in my camera roll. Oh, there we go. That'll work. That's what we're gonna use. And then Sci-Fi finds a way to bash me, but whatever. At least I'm not posting pictures of fucking space cats. That's okay. You love cats, so that's alright. Fucking weirdo. We're both fucking weird. You know it. Anyway, so let's see. Let's check these off the list. Search for DVDASA news. Check. Commentary on my foot and the story behind it. Check. Keep that fire alive. We're saving that. A couple more things before we end this. Okay. How many of you... Okay, I don't speak about video games very often because I really do not play them all that much. I went on a kind of a tear playing Dragon Age Inquisition for a while, which was a very bad decision because it just ate my life away for a good almost a month. So that's why I don't play video games, especially role-playing games. Anyway, but this week, I don't know how, but I stumbled onto some YouTube videos of Mortal Kombat X, which is the upcoming Mortal Kombat release. And I've kind of written Mortal Kombat off as it's done, it's past its prime, it's over. It was awesome back in the day, but none of the recent ones had really even remotely piqued my interest. Until now. It started with me seeing some videos of it. I thought, this looks pretty cool. This could be fun. And then I was like, well, let's learn about the story. So then I watched a few YouTube videos on the story of it. Pretty cool, man. This is interesting. And they've really come a long way. And they're not trying to do anything like crazy in terms of like changing the dynamics of the game. It looked really cool. So then I went back and watched like this hour and 40-minute video of someone who strung all the story scenes from like Mortal Kombat 9 together. So that kind of caught me up on the whole story of Mortal Kombat, all the way from the first one all the way to Mortal Kombat 9. So I guess why I'm bringing this up was I was listening to Sci-Fi tell stories about reptilians, and then it reminded me of the character Reptile from Mortal Kombat. So I sent Sci-Fi a picture of him and said, hey, did you ever play that game? Fuck yeah, bro, I used to play that game. Awesome. So him and I are both Mortal Kombat fans, so I'm definitely going to get this when it comes out. I don't even have a system. I've got a computer, and it is coming out for PC, so I'll probably play it on that because I'm not going to bother going out and buying a PlayStation 4 just so that I can play one game. So yeah, I'm like really fucking excited about this. I'm probably going to play it a bit. I'm just looking forward to it. So any of you Mortal Kombat fans, check out Mortal Kombat X. It drops on, I believe, April 14th or 16th, something like that. So yeah, check it out, guys. Alright, one more thing before we get to the Keep That Fire Alive segment. We have got some super secret interviews coming up. Apparently not so secret that I can't shut my mouth about them right now, but you don't want to miss the next few shows. We'll put it that way. We were going to include some of them in this episode, but we decided not to, and I'm glad we didn't. And it's going to be fucking big, though. It is going to be big. I'm telling you, don't miss this shit. I made a little video today that will eventually make its way onto the show. Run Around Susie's seen the full video. Sci-Fi, he's gotten a small taste of it. His response was,
Jesus Christ. Oh.
So you can only imagine what this video is. It's going to take a bit of my editing skills to get it safe to put up on YouTube. But hopefully you guys will enjoy it when we post it. Alright, well now it is time for, well, I guess Sci-Fi is probably his favorite segment. It is the Keep That Fire Alive segment. And here's where I fuck everything up because I actually have to get and find all the pictures and read them to you guys. So here we go. So we're not in any particular order. Here's what I do. I go and I look up the DVDASA hashtag, and anybody that posts anything, you know, somewhat relevant pertaining to DVDASA, I just mention them. That's all. Just a quick little shout out. I may or may not throw the image up depending on how much time I have. But I'll try to, because it's kind of pointless without throwing the image up. Anyway, so the very first one we have is Mark and Sarah Z. Mark and Sarah Z posted saying, playing catch up today. I'm like 6 episodes behind. I hope Bill picks the Knight Rider car. And then, well, if you find the post, take a look, because Sci-Fi throws in his little 2 cents about what Bill Boone ends up driving. Oh, this is a good one. Okay, so next we have Stephen Carbajal. It says, no one can save you. Save yourself. Culkin Christ. And it's the best. He's wearing the Culkin Christ t-shirt next to, you guessed it, Macaulay fucking Culkin. Next to the Culkin Christ himself. So again, check this. You gotta check this photo out. Again, the user is Stephen Carbajal, StevenCarbajal. It's glorious. Okay, the next one is from Moonsfall, and it just says Cho #DVDASA. It's a little sketch, looks like. So we've got Snatchmo with a photo of him in front of a Ferrari in front of a David Cho mural in, I think it's one of the Denver ones. Yeah, it's the Denver one. It says Last Sunday's Travels. So there's that. Then we've got Madam Wheeler. Madam Wheeler, yes. Madam Wheeler, who says, using the DVDASA app, says, David Cho likes to hang out on the wings of planes at 39,000 feet. #Cho method, #DVDASA. You can guess what that is. Next up is swag_Kasha. Simply #DVDASA, #swag. And it looks like, I can't really tell. I don't know. It's some chick with some really beautiful eyes and Critter Fleming in between. Maybe it's the same girl or another one. I don't know. Just look at the fucking photo. Damn. Next we got a few from Changnesia, and here's one of them. He is reposting Kwang's Escapable Aquariums. Next up, we've got Changnesia 1 again, reposting the Mangchi Live at the Elbow Room with special guest Creepers. So he's got that. You can count on him to post all the pertinent information. So if you miss it by DVDASA, or if you miss anything, he will probably post it, which is awesome. You're awesome. Next up, we've got Sonny Coco. You know, everybody knows I fucking love Sonny Coco. He's just been rampantly posting little clips of his fuckface series. So this one I screen capped. It's part of a 15-second clip of good old Davey, good old Choey, drinking some Snapple, trying to empty that bottle as fast as possible, because, well, you know what he's gonna stick in it. So yeah, shout out to you, Sonny Coco. You are a fucking badass. I love you. I really do. Oh, I really, really love you. You know why. Alright, next up is Ross Harper 76. Finals week, I made a sketch of my geology professor. We just did a little sketch of his geology professor. So we'll have that up there. Next up, we've got Too Furious. True Star shredding it up on my last day of the season. #DVDASA. So he was snowboarding, and he's got the True Star sticker on his snowboard. Next up, we got Shampoo My Crotch. #DVDASA. Using the DVDASA app creatively. Little drawing of heather leather, B-Triv glasses, and well, you'll see. Next up, don't worry, we're almost done, is Eric_Salad Fingers. Another new place. #DVDASA. I believe he posted, I think we've got a few from Eric Salad Fingers, so I will post them all. He #DVDASA. This is the borderline type thing where you're hashtagging it just because you want the DVDASA fam to see it, which is fine. We all kind of do that, you know. We've all been guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. So, yeah, you're still getting up there. Next up is Arms Dealer. Arms Dealer. I get it. Alright, Arms Dealer. Inspiration. Hashtag Manchi. Hashtag DVDASA. And it's just a watercolor. DVDASA. And last but, well, I don't know if we're going to say last but not least. The last one we have is by good old gRapeLyfe. Yeah, me. And it's my stupid stickers that I post. And maybe I need to reply to what SciFi said about my Ari Shaffir shit. I don't know. I don't know if I feel like it. I was kind of giving him shit because I was tagging Ari Shaffir, and we all know SciFi doesn't really like Ari, so whatever. He's dishing it back at me. I don't care. It's not that big of a deal. I guess I do like the voice he used. It was extra fucking homoerotic. So, yeah. Actually, it made my post, it made me second guess my post. It felt so just fucking fruity. So, let me read it in my voice and see if it sounds just as fucking gay or worse than what SciFi did. So let's read this. This is gonna be bad. Back at it. Springtime, bitches. We're about a week away. No, I'm sorry. We're about a week and 10 degrees. Yes, 10 fucking degrees. We're about a week and 10 degrees away from great weather, blooming plant life, as well as cleavage and butts coming out from hibernation in this college town. Ed Ari Shaffir knows what he's talking about. Hashtag DVDASA, DVDASA recap show, blah, 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 blah. That's all. Yeah. Alright. So that's what we got. Anything else important here? Nah. Not right now. I can't think of anything else. So, whatever. Alright, y'all. So that is the end of current events with gRapeLyfe, aka Rapey Grape, aka... Why do I use these names that I fucking hate? AKA Tiny Grape, aka... whatever. See you later, y'all. It's getting late. Peace out.
Alright. Did he? Did he not? Who knows? Could have just said nothing. Let's see. Are you in a better mood this week anyway? Are you in a better mood this week, gRapeLyfe?
Yeah, I guess I am in a better mood. Thanks for asking, buddy.
Yeah, I could tell by your voice you sound a little better. That's good. Alright, well, let's see. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to this 10th episode of the DVDASA recap show. You can follow me, you can follow gRapeLyfe, you can follow the DVDASA recap show Instagram accounts. If you want to ask us a question, like an AMA question, but you want to hear yourself doing it, just use your voice recorder. Record that shit and then email it to either SciFiReuben@gmail.com or DVDASARecapShow@gmail.com. Then I'll throw it up here and we'll answer it like we just heard it. And what else? I think that's it. So yeah. Oh, this outro little Manchi mashup video. Well, I took a break this week, as you can tell. I threw up that chubby guy's I want to eat a Reuben. I threw that up just because it fits, you know? I'm a fucking Reuben, and he likes Reuben, so I was like, fuck it. And for this outro video, well, Chinesia1 did this one all on himself, so this is all the credit goes to him on this one. And I took the week off with the remixes, but next week I'll be back. Actually had a fucked up computer last week, and the charger, the power cord did not work for my Mac. And it made me freak out. Not because I can't do that anymore with the remixes, but I had a lot of music on there, and if that thing didn't work, that's a lot of fucking music. Alright, so I guess that's gonna be it. Oh, look. Let's see if anybody got trivia. Nope. Well, if anybody does, I will shout them out first thing on the next episode. And let me see. gRapeLyfe posted something. Let's see what he says. What'd you do, gRapeLyfe? Oh, look at this guy. He's putting stickers up. He says, back at it. Springtime, bitches. I'll say this in gay voice because it's gRapeLyfe. We are about a week and 10, days? What? Is that 10 degrees with the little asterisk? Back at it. Springtime, bitches. We are about a week and 10 degrees away from the great weather. Blooming plant life, as well as cleavage and butt coming out from hibernation in this college town. Ari Shafir knows what he's talking about. Oh, God. Why do you even have to tag me in some shit with that guy in it? Ugh. Well, gRapeLyfe, keep slapping those stickers, huh? Good job. And, well, over on the west side of California, it's been pretty fucking hot these last couple months. It's probably been like 60s to 70s, close to 80 at one weekend. It's just a little weird. I don't know, I like the cold weather sometimes. But not no snow, not no fucking under 40 degrees, 40 and under, I'm out. I'm cool off that shit. But yeah, great post, gRapeLyfe. Here, I'll like it. And I'll say, put cool pic, bro. Talking mad shit while I'm recording the new episode. Alright, so thank you guys once again. And we'll be back here fucking next week for sure. And hopefully DVDASA will be back soon. If not, give us something. You know, like last time you guys took a break, you gave us Hong Dynasty. And yeah, that would be nice right about now. So I'm going to go ahead and predict before the podcast comes out, we'll see that come out. Alright. And, well, I guess we'll got any last words for them, gRapeLyfe?
Nah, I'm all talkied out for the day. Lucky you.
Alright, buddy. I'll see you next week, too. So that's going to be our show. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope I didn't scare anybody with the paranormal talk or anything like that. And thanks again to Cleveland Rewind for hooking up with that interview. And he had some paranormal shit going on. Hopefully I'll have some more interviews. I got a couple people in mind lined up. And we'll see you guys next week. So I hope you guys enjoy this little outro Manchi remix. And this is SciFiReuben signing off.
The mothership approached. The mothership approached.
Monkey Beats, holla at me.
The mothership approached. Breaking through the nexus of the saucer as it slow. Andromeda, my hope. Travel many distances away from telescopes. They chose me, a contactee. Needed mongoloid to fuse a brand new breed. They'll extract my seed, I was the missing link. Was chilling in the forest on a camping trip. Deep into my sleep, I saw the moon eclipse. It illumined my tent, a vacuum was set. Beat me up like Scotty in a room with vent. These are the people that I want to be with. These are the people that I want to be with. The people. These are the people that I want to be with. These are the people that I want to be with.
people.
Met their avatar with the light blue skin. Stepped into her chambers, had a big fat grin. Probed my scrotum with her long thumb. Syringe sticking out, device that made me come. My jizz shot out in a fluorescent cup. Looked into my eyes and straight drank it up. Her stomach grew like a big ass balloon. Out of her vagina came a gray baboon without fling ears and some reptoid scales. Hair white like hell, don't even try to tell. These are the people that I want to be with.
These are the
These are the people that I want to be with.
the people.
These are the people that I want to be with.
These are the
These are the people that I want to be with.
people.
These are the people that I want to be with.
These are the
These are the people that I want to be with.
people.
These are the people that I want to be with. Monkey
Beats, holla at me.
Humanoids will sell their own souls for a profit, not modest. My pupils are so honest with no wallets. Andromedans communicate with love on their minds. Humans are unkind, they'll find some swine to cook and dine. It's time to redefine the problem with mankind. The pillage of the earth and serve self as their god. My counsel is my brethren on the road that is broad. Forget about facade, my squad is never flawed. Intelligence is passed through the grouping of the pods. These are the people that I want to be with.
These are the
These are the people that I want to be with.
people.
These are the people that I want to be with.
These are the
These are the people that I want to be with.
people.
These are the people that I want to be with.
These are the
These are the people that I want to be with.
people.
These are the people that I want to be with.
These are the
These are the people that I want to be with.
people.